Hello, dear audience. Before we dive into this chapter, I wanted to note some disclaimers and content warnings for your awareness. There will be the usage of background music and sound effects that will recreate the effect and illusion of jump scares. Further content warnings include minor gore, body horror, frightening and intense scenes, grief, trauma, loss, descriptive scenes of death, potential character death, potential betrayal between characters, demons or demonic presences, vomiting and accompanying sound effects, discussions of being outed to family, and cruel, goading conversations. Viewer discretion is advised. Thank you, my dear audience, and now, enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Melancholy We Weave. I'm your storyteller for this evening, Ambrose. I go by any all pronouns. And tonight, we will be telling this tale of horror using the game Quietus by 𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒏𝒅 of 𝒍𝒆𝒍𝒚. This series is a melancholic horror anthology in which each chapter will be following different pairs of characters with backstories dripping with heartache, guilt, grief, and sorrow. These unfortunate main characters are actively trying to push past their traumas while utilizing scars within their own psyche to combat an unknown horror that pursues them. Just so you know what you're getting into here, dear audience, these are not stories about heroes or overcoming some great evil with the power of will. This will be about broken and hurting individuals clawing out of the depths of an unknown nightmare by the skin of their teeth. Will hope tease out of their grasp? Will they be able to elude dread before it consumes them? We turn the page on this anthology and land on the latest tale, Chapter 7, The Three Musketeers. Kendra, Omen, and Sarah Blackwood feel at fault for what happened to their childhood friend Alice. Well, it was their fault technically, but of course her death wasn't their intent. It was just supposed to be a prank, something they've done to each other countless times, but this time around was different. She snapped, in a way, and then she ran. And then she fell. Down, 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 those flight of stairs of her New York City brownstone. And then Alice was no more. They feel responsible, obviously, for Alice's death, but they also can't get past how odd she has been acting 6 months prior, when this all happened. How odd she had been behaving, how weird her apartment had been when they set up that prank, and they can't get this feeling that Alice never really left in the first place. And now these two friends find themselves on a private island trip that was meant for 3. In hopes to get over this guilt and grief. The Airbnb rental is decked out with the latest and greatest technology, a smart home, in the middle of the ocean. They've tried their hardest to forget for a little, even if it was just for this week. But the feeling of her still being with them has not subsided, and the technology in this place seems to be glitching out a lot. Hopefully it's nothing, right? But let's not get ahead of ourselves, dear audience. Everything's probably fine. This is not like we're doing a horror anthology or anything like that. But let's introduce ourselves to these unfortunate main characters, starting with you, Jordan. So, Jordan, please do tell us who you are, your pronouns, your character and their pronouns, and a short sentence about what you've been seeing out of the corner of your eye lately.
Hi everybody, I'm D&D Jordan Lee, she, her, they pronouns. Today I'll be playing Sarah Blackwood, she, her. I think that Sarah has been seeing out of the corner of her eye almost like little dots and kind of questioning whether it is perhaps her vision, as she does wear glasses every now and then, perhaps having a moment where it's not necessarily working or, being a little bit bleary-eyed. Or if there's perhaps something else that might be happening.
Interesting. Well, it's probably nothing to worry about terribly much. It could
No,
be
no,
you
no,
need to
no.
drink some water because we all forget to do that sometimes. Or, get a new prescription. Who's to say? But hey, Lamia, same thing. Introduce who you are, your pronouns, your character and their pronouns, in a short sentence about what you've been seeing in mirrors lately.
I'm Lamia. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm playing Kendra Omen, whose pronouns are also they, them. And I feel like when I look in the mirror, I've been seeing an extra pair of eyes, but then I blink and it's back to mine. But I have one brown and one green, and those eyes are both the same color.
And what color are they?
Uh,
Can you never see it long enough?
it's, yeah, always a little different. Brown, maybe blue, maybe blue, I think. Brown, maybe?
Okay. It's probably nothing to worry about. You know, like stress, guilt, grieving does mess with the mind a little bit in a different way than you might have expected. So, who's to say? And this trip is meant to kind of de-stress y'all. So hopefully you can get that. And now, without further ado, let us continue. The sea breeze brushes past you, and the night sky glitters with the stars and moon of an unpolluted sky. You can even make out the stardust and nebulous matter there, away from city lights and car smog of the New York City skyline. The waves lightly crash against the sandy shores that surround you on this private island you have booked 6 months prior. Outside of the villa-style home of your Airbnb, you sit in the backyard area, which has an outdoor in-ground pool. The whole area is elevated here so that you can get a good glimpse out of at the beach in the Blackwater, about half a mile out. So it's a bit of a nice walk whenever you want to go there. This place really feels like a slice of paradise cut out and placed in the middle of the ocean just for you. Both of you, Kendra and Sarah, are outside, sitting on pool chairs directly next to each other. A side table between you both. You have a drink for each there that you probably made yourselves or made for each other. Soft music is playing out of the speakers that are embedded into the outside of the house, as well as inside, so Bluetooth enabled surround sound music effect, which is perfect because you always use the same playlist, which is 90s and early 2000s pop that you both, well, three of you used to make together and add music to, but it's still living strong. Kendra, what song is playing that makes you start bobbing your head where you're sitting?
Backstreet's Back starts playing. I still have that entire dance memorized.
Amazing. So you're bobbing to it. You're like, yeah, this is it. It kind of fades in, and it just like naturally gets you picked up as you're bobbing. You were like kind of lounging. It is nighttime, so no shades, but the breeze is heavenly. What do you look like as you're just kind of relaxing here?
I'm laying out, feet up, no shoes, no sandals. They're not needed, and it's not often that I get to go barefoot. I have heterochromia, so one eye is brown and one eye is green, and I have a very cute tankini that I'm wearing while we're, you know, on our own and everything. I never quite got comfortable with my size in a bikini. It felt weird. Why would I wear string if I could just go naked? So if I wanted clothes, I tend to wear a tankini, and I have one on that's got kind of multicolored galaxy stars on it that I really like and brought. It has a mesh keyhole cutout. I'm laying back, sipping a drink, enjoying the music and the throwback feel.
Amazing. Sarah, you're next to Kendra. Um, I imagine that the vibes are different in terms of style here. But I also imagine that you probably bought a book with you from your bookstore. You're very picky about the type of book that you would bring with you out here. I
Mhm.
imagine that, like, which book is deemed worthy of my attention as I sit next to the pool. What are you reading? If not a particular book, a genre that you bought with you.
Sure. So Sarah is sitting next to Kendra, sipping on a strawberry daiquiri with no cherry, because I know some people make them with cherries. She has black sunglasses on. Her kind of brown hair is tied up into a loose bun. She is wearing basically the equivalent of like a surf shirt, a black surf shirt with a crop top. So her midriff is exposed, and then is wearing leggings, is basically trying to be as covered up as possible. Um, Complete opposite of Kendra, and is even sitting underneath, I would say, an umbrella or some kind of like parasol to just kind of, still be in the sun, but try and cover up as much as possible. She is currently reading Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie. So
Awesome.
she's about halfway through. This is a book that they read in high school. And this is still the same exact copy. It's like fringed on the sides. You can see clearly, like she has the spine of the book is utterly not wrecked, but it's definitely had its use for sure. So she is currently reading that.
Cool. So kind of, I wouldn't say your nose buried in, but like you're involved. Like you're
Hmm.
you're you're taking it in, and maybe perhaps you're also bobbing your head to the throwback music that's happening, like Backstreet's Back. Amazing. Uh, and for a moment, let's say you're halfway through the song, um, it skips, which it shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, like skipping isn't really a thing, but it kind of frazzles out a little bit, and then you're left with silence for a minute. And yes, the breeze is gorgeous, and the moon, the stars are amazing. You can hear the tides out there being pulled by the moon, but that unsettling feeling that you've had, like from even before you got here and here, um, you realize that there isn't really no sound effects of wildlife in any capacity. Like, no, like, granted, you wouldn't hear birds, but maybe you'll hear aquatic life of some sort stirring the water or anything like that. But you kind of reminded back again from the this morning and afternoon that, like, yeah, it's kind of dead quiet otherwise outside of y'all and then maybe birds ever so often. But it could be just how the island is set up. Who knows? But the music stopped. No one pressed pause. Maybe it's like a disconnect from Bluetooth or something technology related. What do y'all do?
I wonder if I got a work message and it stopped it. Where did I put my phone? I I get up and I start looking for my phone.
Did you bring it outside with you? Do you think?
I don't think I did. I think we've been out here for a while, actually, which, Sarah's umbrella is still up even though it's night. And I think we've been sitting out here, and I think maybe on the counter, the bar, maybe.
That does make
Uh,
sense. Last thing you did before you got out here, you made drinks, and maybe you just forgot to bring it, and maybe that's how relaxed you are. You didn't even need to look at your phone. So that's the first thing you do. Uh,
that'd be a first.
you have multiple phones though, so this is your personal.
Yeah.
Okay. So you stand up and you're like, let me just figure this out. Let me fix it. I could just press and see if I got a message of any sort. And Kendra, you walk in. Let's say there's like a sliding door, glass door, to the back, and then you leave it partially open because you're planning coming back out. Um, Before we follow what you're doing, hey, Sarah, what are you doing out here? You're gonna continue reading your book?
I think she'll kind of not chuckle, but just kind of like give a when she sees Kendra kind of doing the dance panic of where the heck is my phone? And just kind of thinking to herself for a moment, she'll kind of put her book down just to kind of help. Uh, kind of check marking, like looking all over Kendra for a moment just to make sure it's not one of those moments of looking for my phone, but my phone's actually in my hand or it's in my pocket or something like that. So yeah, just kind of trying to assist from afar, but also understanding that Kendra's got it. And the last thing Kendra probably wants right now is someone to hover. So just kind of watching from afar to make sure that, hey, everything's okay, looking around the general area,
Okay.
making sure I have my phone, for instance.
Right.
So,
Luckily, your phone is next to like your drink, let's say. So then, yes, let's follow Kendra for a little bit as they walk in. Um, and it's a little chilly inside, but like AC, right? Like that's fine. It's very high tech in here, all things considered, in terms of style of villa. And go to like the kitchen, you're passing the living room, everything's kind of open space plan here, like everything's not connected, nothing's like walled off or anything like that. So you kind of pass the living room, the TV, you get into the kitchen area where there's an island, white marble countertops greet you. There's still the leftovers of your drink, and everything, like not drink but like your drink mixings, as it were. No one's really rinsed anything yet. And lo and behold, your phone is there next to mixing cups. And you do see like a little, like your phone has lit up for a split second with a notification.
Uh, I look at my phone.
And you look at it, and it's a notification from the person that owns this Airbnb, just in general. They're doing just a quick check in to make sure that you're okay. They ask, like, hey, how's everything going? I know it's been like a few days that y'all have been here. Like, let me know if you need anything, me to drop anything off, or if you need to go into like a nearby town or something like that. Because, as you know, he has the boat. Um, like, offered to leave it behind for you if you needed it, but checking in.
Yeah, uh, man, this guy just okay, whatever. I text back, we're doing great, beautiful villa. I'll let you know if we need anything. And I'll send it. I kind of thought it would be work, and it's a little annoying that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not even the right phone for it, but they know how to get a hold of me, and sometimes they do. And this is. This guy doesn't need to bother us. We'll contact him if we need anything.
Mm-hmm. So he
I,
gives you a thumbs up emoji, and all that other jazz, but then that's the last thing. Can you roll for me? One dice.
Oh, one.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
I know it's usually like 2d6s for things, but for Quietus, we just need one, unless you want to build a pool.
Don't think so yet.
Not yet.
But I should have. 2.
Yeah. All right. On an uneasy roll, which is like the lowest we can go so far. Character does not succeed. Dread goes up by 1. That's my score, everybody. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have any heavy consequences that happen yet. But I can accrue dread. So you put the phone down. You're kind of annoyed a little bit because, like, hey, this is kind of just meant to be an island retreat of sorts. Work still would have annoyed you, but like this guy that this place belongs to, like kind of checking in every few days kind of situation isn't like, it's kind of annoying, but hey, it
like every day though.
It's yes. Like... So yeah, just kind of like I wouldn't say you're concerned, you're just annoyed, I would say. But it is what it is. Maybe if he reaches out again, you might tell him like, hey, could you just straight up leave us alone. We will contact you if we need you. As you're putting your phone down, you're probably considering making another drink or bringing something out like a snack with you and Sarah, just in general, because like it's been a few hours that you've been out there. And as you do, you hear sound like you can't really quite place for a moment. It's like repetitive a little bit. And it sounds like the best way to put it, it sounds like heels walking across marble floors. And it's very close. And the first thing you probably think is that like maybe Sarah came in.
Sarah, is that you?
You look up, you look around, and the walking continues, and it seems like it's passing
Sarah?
You. And then it just kind of fades out.
Sarah?
You look around. You don't see anything. You don't see Sarah. The door is still open. Like it might have been like, hey, like if she came in, it might have been opened a little wider, perhaps. You don't notice anything. Sarah, you're out there. You're waiting. You consider opening your book back up, because maybe Kendra is making another drink or making more drinks in general. And can you roll for me?
Sure.
Absolutely.
That is a 5.
That is better. That is a mixed success. A character achieves a lesser version of their goal, or they can try again. You don't have to do anything, I promise. No pushing needed right now. You pick the book back up, and you flip through. You say you're halfway done, correct? Probably have a bookmark of some sort. And as you open it, the letters on your book are bloody red. If anything, they're starting to run as soon as you open it from the outer edges and into the center of the spine. As soon as you open them. And it's kind of jarring to see, to be honest, the first thing that you see opening this book. What do you do?
So I think for a moment, she kind of drops the book. Like, I'll drop the book. And then pick it up and check the cover, because the cover of the book is actually red. So she's checking to see if like it's bleeding through, maybe, since this is, we're also in the tropics, so maybe some moisture has gotten onto the pages, so things are bleeding. So she'll quickly kind of check that, and then like literally like these pages have been written on. They have notes from when they were in high school for English class and stuff like that. So so I think she's just double checking that it's okay. And then she'll just I'll rub my eyes. And stare at the drink for a second, questioning, like, did I drink too much? Like, yeah, just as kind of like trying to find, a logical explanation for what just happened.
Understandable. You flip it over and you look to see if there's any form of bleeding, if it bled through pages, if the moisture got to it. No. No writing, or like if you ever written red pen or any other kind of color pen that could have aged and maybe turned that color, perhaps like a deeper dark red. No, not that you can tell. The cover looks fine. Like it might have a lot of like what is it like? I don't know if you spine break, but like it's been that long, so it might have like broken down in general. No.
She's to interject, she's rewoven the spine a couple of times
Oh.
too. So she is that level of like nerd, but also very much cares about her things, that she will rebind the books. She'll basically just make it almost so it's like new, but also it's a very clear thing of this is her copy, because these are also books that she keeps in her bookstore,
Oh.
coffee shop, etc. So she also knows when people are trying to steal her books, because she can be like, no, that's mine. It's an original kind of thing. So
Got you. All right.
yeah.
So it seems fine from what you can tell, and then you go back to the page where, like, when you flipped it over, your hand was kind of like separating it, and then you flip it back over. It's back to normal. There is no bleeding. It just looks like where you left off. If you might have some etchings or writings from the last time you read this, perhaps. That's about it. And they're in blue ink, so
Maybe I've had a little bit too much to drink, and she'll kind of slowly push her daiquiri to the side,
mhm.
and
And
then just kind of listen for a moment to see if
yep.
Kendra needs anything.
What ends up happening as soon as like that happens, you can kind of hear Kendra say something in the background, and then just actually calling for you. Um, and it sounds a little worried, or worrying is the best way to put it. Like, hey, where are you, friend? Hello, kind of situation is the vibe that you're
Got it.
getting from Kendra.
Then I'll get up and kind of, uh, I think I'll take the book with me, not wanting to, if there is something strange going on with like the moisture in the air, the heat, or whatever, not wanting to expose the book any further. She'll kind of like just kind of hold it to her chest and take it inside, with a sigh. Um, and I think she'll call back, Kendra, no, I didn't take your phone if that's what you're thinking.
No, it's fine. I think I'm just tired. I might have overindulged. I think I just need to maybe lay down or something. That's all. It's fine. It's fine.
Might be a good idea. I apologize. I think I might have overpoured on the drinks a little bit.
Always a heavy hand. Always a heavy hand.
Only
Yeah,
with
that's
friends. And she'll kind of just give the little wink of like just knowing. Uh, did you find your phone? Is everything okay?
Oh, yeah. The guy texting again. It's what stopped the music. So,
Oh.
yeah. But yeah, it's getting late. I think I'm gonna head off to my room.
Okay. What time are we thinking of getting up tomorrow?
I mean, we're on vacation.
Yeah, true, but uh, I don't know. I don't like to leave anyone waiting, so and I could certainly sleep the day away.
Who is gonna be waiting?
I don't know. I don't know if you have some big plans of if we're gonna
Me.
do like some. Was that your phone?
D- no, no, no. My phone sounds like a ringer or a buzz or a chime. Yeah, no, definitely time for bed.
Okay.
Definitely time for bed. This is like what happens when I am having to pull all-nighters for a big deal. We are here alone. There is no one to put to let down. There is no one we're not doing anything. The point of this trip is to not do anything, right? It's the whole reason my work phone is in my room.
I think Sarah will kind of give a very skeptic kind of look at Kendra of like not really believing this at all, but we'll just
give
kind
me
of
that look. It's in my room. I haven't had it all day.
I think you would see that Sarah will cock her head. It's not that she doesn't believe you about the phone. It's the whole like believing that we're here to do nothing and that nothing else is going on here right now. I think that's the kind of like the inquisitive kind of look that you see kind of flitter across Sarah's face, because especially with like the amount of money that was paid that she has assisted with at least. I think the thought crosses her mind of, well, we could have done nothing and been at home or something like that for far cheaper. So, like, if we're here, yes, we're on vacation, but she's very used to going on vacation and like someone's got a plan for each day of like today, the only thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go dolphin touring or something like that, or scuba diving or whatever it may be. So I think that's to kind of give you some insight of where she's coming from with that. That's where her head is at of like, okay, well, if we're doing nothing, okay, then we're doing nothing. But yeah, I guess sleep sounds good.
I mean, there's an entire binder over there of things to do. If there's something you want to do, like, we can. It's 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 weird. I don't know. Like, this what if we decided in the morning?
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Like, it's a nice house, it's a nice island, like we have the entire place to ourselves. Like, that's the whole point, is to be able to do whatever we want, including not worry about shit.
Okay.
So you both decide to turn in for the night. There's 3 or 4 bedrooms in this place on the second floor. It can hold up to 5, is what the advertisement was on the Airbnb. So a lot of space to do things. So y'all, I'm not sure if y'all would have rooms next to each other, if y'all would space out a little bit. Like, how would you? What would y'all have done?
Space out, so like, not that this place has necessarily a wing, but a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanting, even though yes, we've been friends for a long time, just wanting to have that additional space and taking advantage of that. You know, we definitely have, I think, the ability to explore, but I don't know, maybe like it's. Let me ask, Kendra, would you see yourself going to more of the sunny side of the house or more of the shaded side of the house?
I truly would not care about that, because we're here all day, so it's going to be sunny or shady at some point. I take the master bedroom.
Yes,
I was
you
gonna
do.
ask, like, hey, did you want to take the space that has the biggest amount and it has its own bathroom, maybe like its own tub, that's like big enough for like 2 or 3 people in it, kind of situation, so you can have one of the best
Yes.
baths you can think of, like get like bath salts and all other jazz. And there's 2 other rooms that are big but not masters, and then there's 2 that's like, like multiple people can sleep in it kind of situation. So like there's 2 twin beds or 2 queens. Don't need those, so you go for one of the other bigger bedrooms, Sarah.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for you. It's perfect for Kendra. So that's great. So y'all go up the stairs, and let's say you split off at the top, going down different sides of the hall. Are y'all going straight to bed, or are you like getting ready to, like, like taking a shower, or like doing like nighttime routines of some sort, like washing the face? What's up?
I'm taking a bath. I definitely draw a bath, kind of shake it off, wash it off, relax in the bath for a while.
Cool. And what are you doing, Sarah?
I think she's a night owl. So I think what I'm doing is there's like a little balcony in her little room, like not a massive, nothing compared to the master bedroom, but a little alcove balcony that you can take like 2 or 3 steps. There's maybe a chair.
Hmm.
And she's just kind of sitting there, kind of like watching the waves lapping in, sitting under the moonlight, and just has some kind of like calming, not lo-fi, but just kind of ambiance kind of music playing in the background to just kind of wind down for the evening. She knows if she dives into a book right now, she's going to be up the whole night and not actually sleep. So,
Gotcha. Okay. Both wonderful ways to like end your night. We're gonna start with you, Kendra. Assume that this is happening at the same time. So like we'll go back in time kind of situation. You draw the bath. You like turn it on. There's a lot of selections of like bath bombs, of like salts of different scents. You might have bought something,
Bubbles.
bubbles, like if you wanted to bring like certain
Classic.
scents. Yeah. All right. Cool. So this is vacation quality tub. It's going to work out all the kinks in like your body. You're just going to soak it in. And it takes a little bit of time for it to fill. So like there's some steam coming into the bathroom as you're preparing. You might like do something with your face, like either put on a mask or wash your face before you get in. And you go up to the mirror where the sink is. You're prepping, you're looking down as you're going through your own stuff to prep. Then you hear a noise. It sounds like skin on glass surface, like someone rubbing to, you know how like someone rubs on uh, a dirty vehicle glass to like write something? That sound effect. It takes a while for you to figure out that's what it is because it happens a few times. You're looking around first, and then you look up the foggy mirror, and you start to see the half written sentence of some sort. And it's kind of not what you expect to see, and you're like, this cannot be happening right now kind of situation. But when the sentence is over, it reads, have you ever imagined what it feels like to have your neck snapped?
I
Roll for me, please. And if you would like to add a pool, you can.
uh, I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have anything quite
No?
to
Okay.
add to this, so I
So
think
then
we're
you
gonna.
roll one dice for me. Question is, do you feel like you're uneasy or are you feeling tense right now?
Hmm.
Do you feel like you would be tense in this moment or are you still uneasy? Is this worrying to you?
I right now, for me, this is. I'm annoyed. Like this does this does not make sense.
Mm.
And right now I don't have any proof, I don't have any evidence. Like I am very logical, I am very rational, I'm a lawyer. Like where's the evidence? What is going on? Like is the system going haywire? We maybe watched some scary movies the other night. Like what is happening? And so I think I'm definitely feeling uneasy, but I'm right now I'm still just like this is bullshit.
Yeah, so
I'm
then
supposed to be on vacation.
so still roll it uneasy then. So you're fine. So like roll one dice for me.
Okay. 5.
Good. All right. A character achieves a lesser version of their goal. You're fine. So you see this and you kind of tilt your head like, what is this? And you're wondering, this is a smart house, and you're wondering if like there's like some kind of programming that can be done with the mirrors or something like that, because it's pretty high tech in here. but you've never heard of that even before getting to this place, so you're not entirely sure. And you're trying to see if there's like any controls to do so off to the side where the light is.
Yeah.
And you don't see anything, but as you reach over and you're trying to look at the controls to see if there's anything like that that can be done, there is a button to like evacuate the steam in the room. So pressing that, you see the steam kind of immediately flood through here, like a vacuum noise is the best way to put it. And that writing disappears off the mirror because no more steam on the mirror. But you do see the tail end of curly black hair leave the bathroom from behind you. So it was like someone had just walked past you, and you just see the curls bounce as they exit the room.
Who? Sarah?
All
Sarah,
right.
what the fuck?
And with that, let's transition over to Sarah. Let's go back in time a little bit. Sarah, you're out on your balcony. The breeze is amazing and relaxing. You can smell the sea air. You decide not to read a book or continue your book, um, because you will get lost in it. Like that will happen. You will not be able to. You'll lose track of time. I'm not going to be so like you're not going to be able to sleep. Period. You're just like, but who's stopping me? I'm an adult. So you have your arms crossed over the balcony and you're looking and out to the beach. You hear the crashing waves. And then look down over the balcony. And you like say like you're looking down at where the pool is. There's like the flooring of like the kind of scratchy type of material, kind of reminiscent of like sand that's gotten hardened kind of situation is the best way to put that texture. You can see the uh, pool chairs, like a few lined up. Still see like your empty glasses over there because you haven't cleaned it up, but you'll do it tomorrow. It's no big deal. And you're looking over, and then you see out of like corner of your eye while you're looking, like you see a mass of something straight below. Then your eye focuses, and then you see a mangled body as if it had just fallen down a flight of stairs. High heels, black, with red bottoms, pencil skirt, blouse, it's ripped, blazer, it's half off, mess of curly black hair, neck bent at the wrong angle. See that?
I think she, again, I'll rub my eyes and see if it's still there after I blink a couple times.
No. You have this weird effect of like, you know how like when you look at the sun and you get like the imprint on your eyes, and it's you see like the outline of the body behind your lids.
Yeah,
But when
kind
you
of
look,
seared
it's
into
not
your
there.
brain a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's just
Yeah.
seared. It could just be you did that, obviously, of like that was a visual that I did not want to ever see again. Um, and you take a deep breath and you push back, and then you feel a presence behind you, like someone's like hovering over your shoulder, not touching you, but like someone's jaws just hovering over your shoulder. You hear a very familiar voice say, "Wonder if the same thing will happen from this height." What do you do?
I think Sarah, in that moment, not even a sound, like she doesn't yell, she doesn't yelp, she doesn't call for help, she doesn't call for Kendra. I think what she'll do is kind of cock her head to the side to see if she can see anybody, Can I tell like a general? You said over the shoulder. Can I tell
Yeah,
which
so like if
shoulder?
your right shoulder is to like one of the edges of the
Yeah.
balcony, like it's your left shoulder,
Okay.
someone's
So
standing.
she'll kind of look to the left a little bit and kind of side eye to see if maybe she can see if anything is behind her, or maybe it's just the rustling of the curtains or what. But I think I'll also have like a tight grip on the like banister or the railing of the
Yeah.
balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, that's
Are you
terrifying.
feeling uneasy or tense?
I think a little bit of both. It's almost like deer in the headlights,
All right.
where
So,
both fight and flight is kind of happening at once
hmm.
and brain kind of overload. Does that make more sense? Where you can see I'm gripping onto that railing, but you can also see at this time, like my knees are kind of bent at the ready to like run.
Yeah.
Not that there's really any direction,
E. That
but
might be
yeah.
a tense roll then. So we
Okay,
have uneasy, tense, and desperate. You're either on the tail end of uneasy, or you're
sure.
starting to get really tense. I'm gonna say tense because you feel like if you see somebody there, you will run. Like that is your concern here. You're like, I am getting ready to bolt if I have to. So
Fight or
roll a
flight. Yeah.
yeah. So roll a dice.
Okay.
Um, if you want to push yourself, you can, or if you want to work in an element of a scar, you can.
I think there is what so I will do the scar if I can.
Yeah,
I think this having worked in a bookshop, coffee shop, it's not uncommon for people to just come on up behind you when you are working. Whether you're putting books away or you're dropping off orders at a table, there's always somebody moving around asking for help, etc. So I think in this instance, Sarah, I have balancing on one hand just a tray of coffee drinks, an assortment of them, and then in her left hand, she's got almost like a little basket of books that she needs to put away. And someone comes up from behind her left side and says something. I can't remember what they said, honestly. It doesn't matter. But it came out of nowhere and it kind of spooked a little bit. So I think she had to, or rather, I had to quickly pivot so that way I don't spill drinks on customers, but I also don't drop heavy books on people either. So trying to find a balance between that and being able to stand strongly and securely while helping this person that just came out of nowhere. So I think that kind of flashes in her mind. It's almost like a dance move,
yeah.
where she kind of just crosses her legs, like does a 1-2 step. I think literally in my mind, you'll literally hear her singing, let me see you 1-2 step, as she kind of like will quickly pivot to kind of quickly turn around and kind of be at the ready. Not that there's anything that she can grab onto besides the railing, but just kind of to face what or whoever is behind her.
All right. You have successfully described a scar to me. So you add an element. I would say like either fancy footwork or whatever you want to label it is the element. If you want to
Sure.
put that down in the element category later,
Okay.
you don't have to do it immediately. And that gives you an extra die. So you have 2, but that raises your anxiety by 2. So like you have anxiety 2 now.
Okay.
Don't worry too much. You have to worry when you're at 10, so you have some time. Do not worry.
Okay.
So roll 2 dice for me.
All right. Okay, that's a 6.
You have done well. So this was a tense roll, so you succeed just fine. Nothing bad happens. Fortunate for you, unfortunate for me. But what ends up happening is you turn slowly. So you can still feel the presence hovering over your shoulder. And it's that moment when you like turn over and something enters your vision slowly because you weren't expecting anybody there. But this figure enters your vision, and it takes a while for you to realize what it is. And you see your eyes coming in contact with deep hazel green eyes that are like kind of laughing lines at you, kind of. So clearly you're used to this of this person because you know who it is. You haven't seen those eyes in a while, but before they looked very lifeless last time you looked at them. Smile, very deep smile reaching their eyes, and you see blood in their teeth and mouth as they grin at you. And then you notice that their neck isn't quite right. It's not fully like over to the side, but it's not sitting well. And they smile at you as you turn to them. And then you blink your eyes, and you're alone.
I will let out a sigh, a breath that I didn't realize I was holding. And I'll reach into my, yes, I know I'm wearing leggings. Some leggings have pockets. She has a pocket. And you'll see me pull out the small kind of pad of paper and a pen, and she'll write down what she just saw. And for anyone that was maybe glancing over her shoulder or is watching this happen, she's on like page 4 or 5 of notes that she's just been kind of taking as things are kind of happening. Some of it, strange occurrences and appearances that have been happening. Some of it are, it seems like she's perhaps trying to jot down things like when you first wake up from a dream, hope of maybe writing a book eventually. So it's interspersed. So you have these moments of, is this real or not real? As well as stuff that could go into her book that she's writing.
It's got a list of notes, and for the audience noting it, like if they were to see like a camera going over your shoulder of you like flipping to get to the next page that's empty enough for you to write this down.
Yeah.
And as you finish writing it and you like punctuate it, you hear Kendra yelling for you.
I think I'll take another breath, close my eyes for a second, like scrunch, try to remove those eyes that just appeared in the voice that I know so well. Steel myself, and I'll head over into Kendra's direction. I think knowing Sarah, Sarah will have her phone up, as well as she's gonna have her pen at the ready, because she just saw some weird shit. She doesn't know if someone just broke in and Kendra's now yelling. Is it a weapon? No, but she's gonna make a pen a weapon if she can. So yeah, she's at the, not holding like this. She's just literally at the ready to kind of jab, because no, she doesn't want to accidentally hurt Kendra if she just rounds a corner and just kind of stabs down. So this is more like jabbing at the ready kind of thing.
All right. Let's say y'all meet in the hallway. Like y'all get out of your rooms and then like you kind of round the corner at the same time to see each other's faces from the other end of the hallway kind of situation.
Were you in my bathroom?
No. Why would I be in your bathroom?
Someone was in my bathroom. Someone is in the house.
I thought you said we were the only ones here.
We are supposed to be the only ones here, but I swear somebody put some fucked up shit on my mirror and I saw them walk out of my bathroom. Someone else is in the house.
Okay. Have you contacted the owner?
Working on it. And
okay.
I didn't want, if it was you fucking with me, I didn't want to do anything. Whatever.
No. As you said, we're on vacation to relax. Why would I?
Yeah, I'm texting him. I just wanted to make
Okay.
sure.
And I think Sarah will kind of look around the room, kind of just trying to see if one, yes, there is someone else in the house, or if this vision that she saw is appearing again around, if it's in the periph. She's kind of just on watch. She doesn't want to alert Kendra just yet to what she just saw.
Hmm. So you're looking around the halls. I don't know if you're just like staying in the hallway or if you're like going downstairs or like are you just looking where you are?
Kind of
Like what's
looking
that?
where she's at. She doesn't want to leave.
Okay.
Like I don't want to leave Kendra
Yeah.
where she is kind of exposed. I'm sorry, where they are. Sorry.
Hmm.
Where they are leaving them exposed. So kind of just looking around, kind of doing peripheral proximity kind of look.
Okay. So you roll that. Kendra, you're messaging the owner, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
send a message. I saw someone in the house. Did you send anyone over here?
Okay. Both of you roll one dice. I would say this is starting to get tense right now because you're feeling like someone's in the house with you. And if you want to add things, if you want to like add a scar or accept help, you can do that.
Right now, I'm just texting, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sarah got one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 3.
It
Hmm.
had to balance somehow. It had to balance somehow.
Those are some sexy, sexy numbers. Thank y'all. Give me a
Mhm.
second. Character
Considering I
differences.
rolled a 6 before, it had to balance.
That's
So,
fair. That is true.
yeah.
Ends of the spectrum, you know. The character does not succeed. The player chooses to suffer. You choose these, so I'll read them off. You can either choose to suffer a severe consequence, or dread goes up by 2, or they increase their despair by 1. Which is it? Or you can push it and make it desperate. Higher risk, higher reward.
Let's do a severe consequence.
I love
At least
that.
for me.
Okay, for you, severe consequence. Sarah, what do you want?
Um, I think I'm gonna push it. I think Sarah's just too on alert
That's
right
fair.
now
So if you're
and
so if you're
wanting to
gonna
just ground. Yeah.
okay, if you're sorry, one second. Sudden stretch. Jesus Christ. That came out of nowhere. Desperate roll. When you're pushing to desperate. Let me see. You add an extra die. You're gonna roll a dice before you do this, and whatever
Okay.
that number is, divide it by half,
Okay.
and you increase your anxiety by that number.
Okay. 1.
All right, increase your anxiety by 1.
Okay.
So that's a good and like instead of
Yeah.
the alternative of full increase of anxiety to 6, like by 6, someone has done that.
Yeah.
So now you can roll again
Okay.
with 2 dice.
Okay.
But desperate is a little higher risk.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fail this one, I get goodies all around.
Okay. So I rolled both a 1 and a 6.
You get the 6. So
So
you're fine. You're good. And I know what ritual you're talking about.
yep.
Read your lips.
Yep.
So you succeed. But dread goes up by 1, so I increase my dread to 2. Just because it's that desperate. I'm seeing like Sarah is kind of having a moment of like starting to increase your like jerking your head around, looking around a lot.
She's hyper vigilant. It's
Very
the
hyper
hyper
vigilant in
focus.
this moment is definitely coming through right now. Um, so we have 1 failure and we have 1 success. So let us play out the success first, and then we're going to play out the failure. You're looking around, and where you are, you can see from the top of the stairs down. You can't see the full area downstairs, but you can see enough if anyone passes by, you suppose. Down the hallway, there's like windows on each end of the hallway kind of situation outlooking. And you're looking at your doors, other doors. There is one of the doors that you haven't used yet that like would be like double beds kind of situation in one of those rooms. It's open. So you're wondering if someone's in there. Maybe. So you do see that. But you don't really see any sign of like anyone walking in from outside because usually there might be like some sand from outside if someone came from outside in kind of situation. You don't see that anywhere. Um, but that's the only other indication that you would probably look for if someone was coming through. Just the door's open. For Kendra, you are trying to message the landlord. You pull up the message and you send it. You try to send it. What do you type? What do you send in? Someone's here. Like I think someone's here. Is that what you? I think that's what you said, right?
I saw someone in the house. Did you send someone here? If not, can you send help?
Um, you send that and you send the message, but then you see it wasn't sent out. You know, like so like there's a little loading situation of like message couldn't be sent in red above your message. Try again.
Copy, paste, try again.
Does it again.
Copy, paste, try again.
Does not work.
Gonna try to call.
You call and it rings. And keep in mind while you're trying to send this, you still have connection. So it's not like there's issues with any like you have reception and you have Wi-Fi. So that doesn't really make sense in general. So you try calling and it rings and it rings. And then
Gonna put it on speaker and email while I'm calling.
Okay, so you put it on. I love this. So that does make sense. It's like everything possible. You do this. You put it on speaker, and you like do that thing where you like flap it open in front of Sarah while you're also putting up your email, and it clicks, and nothing is said. No one says anything.
Hello?
There's a little bit of static in the background.
I think there's someone here. Did you send someone?
Further static, it sounds like what you would imagine if you take a VCR and a magnet to it, and there's like a little screech with that sound, but there's also static again.
Please, your phone's really bad. Just come to the house.
And then you hear not a man's voice, because you know what he sounds like, kind of. You hear labored breaths of a very feminine voice.
I dropped the phone.
Immediately drop it. Halfway done with the email, you're done. And the screen goes blank, like black to black, kind of like it did like that, like not factory reset, but like a shutdown kind of situation, which you had full. You didn't charge it. It's nighttime, but it wasn't 0% either. It wasn't anywhere near zero. Let's say 40 or 50%. And
phones turn off. Phones turn off. It happens. We're in the middle of nowhere. These things happen.
So yeah, this happened. The phone fell. You're not feeling great right now. And there's a room that has a door open right now. One of the double bedrooms. Neither of you went in because you didn't need to after the first day.
Is Sarah still here with me?
Mm-hmm.
Did you open that?
I think wordlessly, I'll just shake my head no.
How are you feeling, actually, Sarah, after you're hearing a labored breath on the phone? Because Kendra had a very immediate reaction?
Yeah, I would say even more uneasy. She is literally playing every horror movie in her head that she has ever watched, like ever. When it comes to either Halloween or, with Michael Myers to, The Grudge, with hearing that kind of death vibration on the phone, to I think I'm trying to remember the other movie that's the calls from coming from inside the house kind of thing. I'm blanking on the movie name, but that movie.
Mhm.
Um, that kind of flashes through her mind and her eyes throughout this entire thing, even with that kind of voice gasp sigh that was her on the phone. Her eyes have been just trained on that door that's opened that was not before. So I think, Kendra, you're like looking at Sarah and her eyes have just been trained on that door.
How far are the stairs from us?
I would say like you met right in the middle, so like the stairs are right in front of you. Essentially, if you like turn, you can just walk down if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna downstairs. Let's go downstairs. And uh I'm gonna start heading downstairs. I'm not playing this game.
No, Sarah's on the way
So
too.
I'm gonna pick up the phone. I'm gonna pick up the phone off the floor and I'm gonna head away from the door. I'm not touching it. I'm not alerting anyone that we've noticed someone's here, getting away from wherever they are, which seems to be this room.
That's a wise decision. So you both start walking down the stairs, and behind who's last? Actually, okay.
I would say just to catch up to Kendra because Kendra was
Yeah.
already in motion
Mm.
and Sarah's a little bit slower to move. So
As you're running, not running, I would say like you're kind of briskly walking, not a run. You're just kind of like
speed walking.
speed walking down the stairs. You hear a voice behind you who's like, "Oh, don't trip, don't trip, don't trip."
Mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. I'll grab onto any railing or put my hand on the wall to like do that thing of like when you're really drunk and you're trying to balance yourself. Just try to like so I have that added thing and kind of speed up a little bit behind Kendra.
Okay. So you'll get to the lower level. You're walking kind of into the mixture, like that in between of the living room and kitchen area is the best way to put it. You're looking around, and I would say you're looking for any further proof of anybody. Did anyone go through the front door or back door? But y'all both lock those up before heading upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
If I can disagree, I think Sarah's actually doing the opposite. She's looking for not like ways that someone has come in. She's looking for ways to get the F out.
That's fair.
So
I want a knife from the kitchen.
All right, get a knife from the kitchen. There's like a block with a whole bunch of knives. I'm assuming you get
Biggest one.
the biggest one. Yeah, I was like the biggest one, right? Yeah, the one
yeah.
we can all see perfectly clear in our heads. Um, and Sarah, you're looking for a way out, and you can either
Yeah.
go through the back where the pool is and stuff like that, and you can like walk around to the front. Um, there, if I remember correctly, there's like a rowboat that you can not a rowboat, like a what is it like a
It's a little schooner boat.
yeah, like it's like one of those like little boats that like you can
Tender.
motorize a
That's what
little.
they're called, tender.
Thank you. You can motorize it out. It's big enough for three people, kind of situation. You know that if anything else fails and you can't communicate with like the person that owns the place, you can always take this to where they're staying, which is like the mainland kind of situation. Um, but it's dark out, so you
Hmm.
might need some help with visuals. Phone light might not be enough, but it's something, and you both have your phones. Uh, so that's one way. You can do the front. You could do the back entrance. The front is the most direct path. It's a little bit of a walk to get to that area. So let's say like a 5-10 minute walk. to get to the pier where this is tied up. So that's the way you get it off the island.
I think, yeah, that's gonna be the most logical way then.
Mm-hmm. So, you have a knife, Kendra. Y'all have a plan on leaving? Do you both kind of like look at each other in the eyes and be like, we out, like we can't do this?
Yep.
All right, so you go, you look around, you just leave everything else until you can figure it out kind of situation. All we need is our phones and a way to defend ourselves. You get to the front door, and as you reach for it, you hear like a mechanism lock, double lock the door.
I'll try the door.
It won't budge.
Unlock it. Sarah, unlock the door.
Unlock.
It's kind of resisting you, actually.
Okay.
There's a smart home connect area where like you can program the locks of the room in the main area. It's like a panel kind of situation. So like maybe I could undo it there.
No, I think actually, if anything, that pushes me to not, because if this was like one of those old kind of locks, then, you know, she could get a bobby pin out and maybe, you know,
This is not an old lock. This is
this is not, no. So that's why I was like, I'm averted to like all technology, Sarah. So like this, I think would be very like, looks very expensive. I don't want to break it, especially just knowing even just a portion of the money that was paid for this place, even with us fighting for our lives to get out. So I think she panics for a moment. She's like, not my expertise. I think actually what Kendra will do is pivot, and she's going to make sure that she grabs the tender key that's kept in the house. So that way we're not going out there and not having a key to drive this thing.
Got you. Okay, so I would say if you go ahead, you want to do?
You said there's a panel.
Mm-hmm.
If Sarah's not gonna mess with the panel, then I am going to try and unlock the door and the panel.
Okay. You're both doing something that would increase your hope. So like if you want to roll for it, and if you pass, whether it's a mixed success or a full success, you can increase your hope by 1 each. So if you can get the door unlocked by using the panel, that's an example, and if you can get the key, those are 2 ways.
Okay.
5.
Can I add a?
You got a 5?
Yep.
Would you say you are tense or desperate at the moment?
Tense.
Okay, so that's a mixed success. What about you, Kendra?
Can I add a scar?
Absolutely. Tell me about it. Tell me your woes.
Part of working at a big law firm is parties, happy hours, galas, events of all kinds. Even, you know, if client is having an opening or some kind, as legal, sometimes you'll be invited. And so Kendra goes to a lot of these things, but I think really early in their career, they went to one for a client that had been difficult. They were demanding, emailing at all hours of the day and night, constant demanding meetings where it could have been an email. And in the meetings, they'd get close, they'd want to hug, they'd whatever, but this was a massive account early in their career. And so they dealt with it the best they could, and at the end, there was a party. And Kendra went, of course, doing what you do, showing face, deepening the connection for the firm. And the contact for this client, I think, tried to lock Kendra in a room. Very rich, very high-powered, and I think there were a security system kind of situation that Kendra ended up having to work with and or break in order to get out and leave. And I think that they did. And they were taken off of the case, and they got in a lot of trouble at the firm, despite telling them what happened.
Okay. Gonna question, lock you in a room with them or lock you in by yourself?
By myself at that point.
Okay. Got you. Not sure what to call that element. That would be, it could be a form of resourceful, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Resourceful with locks, or you would do anything to be free in a situation, kind of situation. So whatever that element is, note that in the element section.
Mm-hmm. Freedom hack?
Freedom hack, there we go. I like that. Increase your anxiety by 2.
Okay.
And you get an extra die to roll here. This is tense for you, if I remember. So you get 2 dice now.
Okay. And so this is tense. And can I go ahead and what do I have to do to push myself for the...
Oh, you want to push?
Can I do that? I mean, this feels really important.
This does feel
open.
important. It is important. Let's see. If you're gonna push it 2, roll a dice. Whatever the number is divided by 2.
2. So 1.
Yeah. So increase your anxiety by 1.
Okay.
And now you can roll with an extra die, but it's now desperate. So you're high risk, high reward again here.
Yep. All right, but I have 3 die now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh God, there goes 1.
Any 6s?
Hold on. I lost 1. 5.
Got a 5.
I got
All
a
right.
4, a 4, a 2, and a 5.
All right.
So 5.
Mixed success. You succeed, but dread goes up by 2. Thank you. Player chooses to suffer a severe consequence or raise their despair by 1.
Consequences.
Consequences.
Let's go consequences.
We love the consequences of our actions here. So you do succeed though, so that's good. So you kind of rush over to the panel. You have a knife with you, the bigger one. And similar system kind of situation, not exactly the same. This one's more high end, but there is like a few like locks, so you can like lock certain doors and windows kind of situation with this panel. Mm-hmm. And it's registering that the front and back doors and all the windows on the first floor are locked. But you note that the front door is like a certain type of lock, like it's one of those locks you do if you're leaving the house kind of situation, so that no one can like bust the door open, or like, what is it, like a lock picket is the best way to put it. Super secure.
Yeah.
And you're trying to figure out how to deprogram it to just be either a normal lock so that you can just manually unlock it, or just full on unlock. And you're able to do that. But as you're doing that, you hear Alice's voice behind you. Because you know it's her. You know it's her voice. Like, there's no way around this at this point. Breathe out. That same voice, that struggling breathing that you were hearing on the phone is heard next to your ear as you're shaking to get this unlocked. And it's not helping. You almost don't, because this is distracting and it's bringing back memories for you. You remember how frightened Alice looked. You did a prank, very much like the Ghostface killers in her apartment kind of situation, because friendiversary. And she didn't even register y'all as the potential if it was you two. She just ran, and she ran like she was running for her life. And she twisted her ankle while she had her heels on, full power twist of her ankle, and fell, and you just heard several sickening crunches. She fell and fell and fell, and it just wouldn't stop until it did. And Kendra, you were the one who went down first, because Sarah couldn't quite believe this was happening. Like this can't be real with Sarah, but you are very much, I need to see it for myself to make sure it was. And all you remember, the thing that resounds in your memory the most, is that she wasn't dead immediately. She was choking on her own blood. She could barely breathe. But it was going to happen, because there's no way it wouldn't. Unless the paramedic was there immediately. Maybe. It sounded like she wanted to say something, so just the guttural sounds of trying to form words stuck in your brain, and you hear it next to your ear as if it's on a speaker system. Actually, it is on the speaker system in the house. And as it fades out, as if someone had it on a fader, you finish the unlock, but you are shaking. The blade slips in your hand,
Crying.
and you cut your hand open because you are lost a little bit. But you are able to unlock the front door. Please increase your hope by 1. Well, both of your hopes by 1. You were saying something, Kendra?
I am crying as I open the door, and I think I stumble out, and I'm just crying. You're dead. You're not here. You can't be here. You're already dead.
You hear on the speaker system. Very staticky, but still her voice. Dead but not gone. And then the music shifts, because music comes in and replaces her voice, and you hear Toxic by Britney Spears coming from your phone. Sarah, you were looking for the key, and you got a what? You got a 5 or 6? I'm just trying to remember.
I got a 5.
You got a 5, okay. And this was tense?
To make sure, yes, tends to make sure that I grab the tender key. Because it's oftentimes in most places not left in the boathouse or whatever docks it may be. It's usually attached to some kind of car key, house key, whatever it might be, but it'd be in the house. So want to make sure that we actually have the key to drive this tender off of this island versus us getting there and then, oh no, we can't do anything. So.
Oh man, what a way to be, what a place to be in. So you're able to get that. Dread went up by 2 already, I believe. Nope, that was something else. Nothing really bad happens. It's a lesser version. You're able to find the key. You find not just one, but you find several, kind of bound together. This could be for anything, but you know that this is for one of these is the key for what you need. But you're going to need to try a couple of times before you actually leave. But you hear the same sounds. Actually, you don't. You don't hear the same exact thing. You hear something different, though. You hear same time that Kendra is hearing that struggle to breathe and talk. Alice's voice crying.
Why? What?
Pleading with you.
How could you?
You hear her kind of the closest to heartbroken that you can possibly muster, or that she could muster in the moment, while still considering you a friend, is the best way to put it.
Were you even thinking?
And she's upset with you. And your brain immediately goes to a memory where this argument was happening. And Alice had a dream job she really wanted. It was her first job out of college. She prepped and she got dressed, found the right outfits, did all the research about this company, and put you down as a reference. And would have put Kendra down as a reference, but felt like didn't want to, one, bother Kendra, and then two, like, I gotta do this on my own. Kendra always helps me with everything kind of situation. And let me use one of my other friends. And Sarah, during the time when this happened, you were very distracted with what you were doing. Probably, like, I don't know if you had your bookstore at the time, but it might have been a very busy day that day, or whatever it might be. And you weren't remembering that this was going to happen, and you put down as a reference, and that you might get a call that day. So this person calls you, and they are very, very candid. So it doesn't remind you of a professional setting. And it kind of sounds like a friend of Alice's more than anything. And you kind of lightly joke about Alice and how Alice can be. And not realizing that that was one of the recruiters for marketing, and it was taken in the wrong way. And Alice found out that that's what happened, came to you and cried and screamed at you and pointed at you and called you several names: unreliable, ditzy, not paying attention to other people and what they need in your own world. You cost me my dream job. How dare you? You've never seen Alice that mad before. And that argument is in the speaker headphones. Oh, speaker of the whole house. And it might have been one of the times when you realize that, like, who is Alice really? Even if, like, yes, I did mess up. That was a big mess up. I should have known better. But she wrung you out. And didn't talk to you for several months. Not until she got a new job. Or a different job. She never got her dream job. And that was always in the back of her head, probably, and probably yours. It is another addition of your heavy guilt that you feel, on top of the obvious situation, the big elephant in the room that you do not want to talk about. And then Kendra rounds the corner from where the panel is, and you round the corner with this ring of keys that you don't know what belongs to what. And you both look at each other, and you tell me, how did you feel, like, in terms of hearing this? Like, were you also crying, or were you trying to keep it in, or what?
I think I look a bit lost because there's definitely tears in my eyes. If I can interject and take it back a second, I think with the flashbacks of the call and the reference and costing Alice her dream job, there are interspersed like sharp cuts between that and then the incident that cost Alice her life. So I think Sarah's kind of feeling it twofold rather, of costing Alice her dream and not being able to live that out. And that guilt is very much like she's present, but her eyes are not. She's looking around, trying to just pull herself out of those memories, but they're kind of very like the chapter books she loses herself in. This is her trying to claw her way out of that. And it's a look that Kendra has seen before. Normally it's a little bit more calm, like, oh, okay, coming out of it from, whatever world she's in. This is survival mode. This is more visceral. And like with each flash, you're kind of seeing Sarah, myself flinch, as the cuts are kind of happening in her mind.
All right. And you meet at the front door, experiencing different forms of guilt, torment in a way, but the front door is open, or you can open it, like it's unlocked. What do y'all say to each other? Or are you just gonna cry, process your feelings, and leave?
We fucked up. We shouldn't have come here.
I think Sarah doesn't answer, just kind of nods.
Why?
And we'll leave.
Yeah.
Keys in hand.
You open the door. Get a few brisk walks out, like you get a few steps in, and there's like gravel, I would assume, like kind of situation, or I'm trying to remember what there's a path.
Pebbles and
pebbles, yeah, okay,
stones,
on
yeah.
beaches, that you can make. And you look up, you see standing there, broken limbed, but standing tall, Alice, tan skin, blotchy face with blood, hazel green eyes, freckled, curly black hair, with a single streak of blonde over her right ear. And you can hear, as you stand there and take her in, her neck snap into place, her joints snap into place, her leg. The blood's still there, but it's like her body's repaired. And she smiles, a bloody smile. And you hear her say, "Hey, besties." And that's where we're going to take a break, everybody. Don't go anywhere. This is getting good. And I'm loving it. So we'll be right back. We're taking a little break. But see y'all later. we're back, everybody. Thank you so much for taking a moment. Things are getting really intense at the moment. We have both Kendra and Sarah are essentially realizing that they're being terrorized potentially by their old friend. Once was a trio, now just doubles. Going on a trip that was meant for three. But hey, that friend has decided to show up, despite them being dead. Kendra has cut their hand, accidentally, after experiencing something that was really visceral, intense. Same thing with Sarah, experiencing something very similar and realizing what's going on with their friend. During the time, like in terms of who is Alice really. And lo and behold, Alice stands before you, bloody, but their body snapping back together. So, you find them here. Seeing Alice standing in front of them, it seems like she's pretty present. The closest that you've seen so far. What do you do? Not a greeting? No hellos? Nothing like that?
What are you doing? You're supposed to be at
Is that what
rest.
you really wanted? You want me to be dead? I can be dead again. Like, we could hear one of her shoulders kind of popping out of its socket a little bit.
That's not what I meant!
Oh, I'm
We
sorry.
didn't want you dead! We love you!
I didn't feel it.
What do you mean you didn't feel it?
Who shows up at someone's house dressed as potential serial killers? That seemed kind of over the top, don't you think?
We did it every year! You did it too!
Mm.
We're like sisters. What are you doing?
Getting my revenge, I suppose, in a way. Like, because if I gotta die, not all of us can live. Aren't we in it together always? Besties, pinky promises, and all that jazz? Or you're just gonna abandon me?
Kendra turns to Sarah. That's not her. That's not her.
Oh, come on now, Kendra. It's me. Remember me?
No. I'm the bitch of the group, not you.
I mean, you did call me a bitch when I outed you to your mom. You remember that? You can't be the only bitch in the group. That's not how that works.
Yeah, well, fine. Fuck it. Maybe you should go back to being dead so we can go home.
That's not really how it works. See, I'm here, so I'm gonna bring you with me to where I call home now.
Sarah, are you... Am I losing my mind here?
You see Alice
Sarah?
like step behind Kendra and wave at Sarah.
Yeah. No, I think Sarah is frozen, and you're seeing an expression on her face of like doesn't quite believe what she's seeing in front of her and hearing. But the question of like that's not, or the statement that Kendra made about that's not Sarah, I think you see for a flash, like a moment of doubt in what you said, Kendra, cross her mind. Because Sarah's been questioning before Alice died who Alice really is and if she really ever knew her at all. So is this just another side? Or is this like every horror movie that's they have watched together as tradition? Is this some kind of other being or vengeful spirit that is indeed wanting to seek revenge? So I think you see that just she's processing and very like her, she freezes up because it's just overload.
Oh, I think Sarah stopped working.
No. Sarah. And Kendra's gonna come up and is gonna grab you by the shoulders and shake you.
Ow.
This is not the time for one of your fucking episodes, Sarah!
Okay, not so loud. She'll just kind of gently push you back a little bit. Anyways, so the fuck do we do?
Like paces in high heels, back and forth in front of you.
We're leaving. Ghosts don't fucking exist.
Oh, I'm not a ghost. Oh, that's cute. Oh. You could try
But they
leaving.
apparently follow, apparently.
You could try leaving. I am not gonna stop you. Emphasis on try, though.
Who are you and what do you want? And why are you impersonating our dead friend?
Like, does a whole, like, stretching and cracking, like this, like normal cracking, to, like, stretch. That's for me to know, to be honest, and I'm just trying to have fun here. But, you know, hey, try to leave. Do what y'all do. Run.
What purpose then would revenge actually do for you?
What do you mean?
Well, you may or may not be Sarah, or Alice. I'm Sarah. You may or may not be Alice.
Mm-hmm. What? Revenge, purpose. Let me put it in perspective for you, Sarah, because maybe I have to spell it out for you like I have had to several times in our friendship in general. It's fun. It's very fun to fuck with you. I'm doing it for fun. Does there have to be a reason?
Usually it's more fun when everyone's in on the joke.
But you're over there and I'm over here, and it's all just for me, baby. So go for a little jog, run, go to your little boat, and try to leave. I'll be here. And then walks past y'all into your vacation home villa.
As this person walks past, I'm going to stab her.
Oh man.
Let's go.
I will let you know.
This is not my friend. This is some weird imposter. I am absolutely stabbing this person.
That's valid and fair. That is not going to increase your hope. I'm letting you know that right now.
That's you know what? It's increasing Sarah's hope. That's all I'm going to say right now. It's increasing Sarah's hope right now because that bitch just said something very hurtful to her and it feels like a smack in the face, and Kendra's validating that. So like, yeah, it's raising her hope.
Care about hope. I care about this perversion of my friend. I'm stabbing this bitch.
All right. That is a desperate roll. So is there anything you want to add to that?
You know what? I think that as much as I would like to add something,
You're going to leave it as a solo?
I don't think that I have anything that would be relevant to stabbing a person.
Yeah, like, no. Not unless you want to, like, tell a story about how you know how to stab someone real good, and I don't know if Kendra... I don't know if they would know how to do that.
Or maybe the thought that crossed Kendra's mind when they were outed. Of just, like... hating someone for a moment, even a moment of a moment.
There's that, or you can ask for help.
Yeah, I was going to offer to assist.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to do both.
So you want to pull up a scar of, like, that moment of being outed and that moment of hating someone so much you wanted to do something about it, kind of situation.
I'm gonna pull up a scar, and then I would like help from Sarah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll assist.
So describe the scar first of this moment.
I was still a kid when I realized that I wasn't straight, but I didn't want my parents to know, but Alice knew. I told Alice because Alice was my alibi. Alice was the friend I went and stayed with or got dropped off at in order to then go on a date with a girl. Alice outed me to my mother. I still don't understand. I still don't understand. We had done this so many times. But for some reason, that day I was on a date with a girl I really liked so much. I had so much fun, and then I came home. And there was my mom and Alice. And Alice's mom. Not only did she tell them that I was on a date, but she told them it was with a girl. She couldn't even lie and say it was a boy. I hated her for that. I thought some really bad things about Alice that day because it felt like my life was gonna be over. And this moment is like that. This person, we did so much to get past that point, and this person is trying to pretend to be my friend. And that rage comes back, but this time, I have a knife in my hand.
Beautifully described. I'm in love with that. Add an extra die with that, but increase your anxiety by 2. With the help given from Sarah. Sarah, you increase your anxiety by 1 because you're helping. You're in a situation with something that isn't quite human, maybe, or they're there and they're terrifying. How are you helping? How do you want to describe this help?
Sure. So I think for a moment, Sarah moves, and you can see the tattoo that she has on her. The kind of interwoven symbols of everyone's names together. She is, in this moment, a story of not only herself, but her friendship, as she has inked her skin with her friends' names. And making that decision, the infinity, and then adding little nods to everyone's kind of personality, hang on, I'm grabbing it again because it disappeared. Little bunny ears for Alice. For myself, it's the arrows with leaves. And for Kendra, it's the little gavel with like a small little bookworm. Because we all bonded over books in some capacity. She didn't make that decision lightly. And to hear that, whether this is Alice or some kind of copy of Alice, poking fun at her expense and utterly dismissing the impact that Sarah had, I think that snaps Sarah out of that kind of, not delusion, but out of that kind of fog that she's been in, and then she had been trying to claw her way out of. That solidified the path out of that, and she literally, Kendra, I think for a moment, you see just pure rage and just pain cross Sarah's face. And she will just let out this painful, blood-curdling kind of scream that she's been holding in not only for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but for years of just frustration and pain of all the like problems that have been in this relationship, this friendship, that she has always kept secret and inside, just come pouring out onto the pages, and sound bites of her screams and her skin. Like her skin is changing color to red. It's one of those, like she's normally super pale. It's getting blotched out, almost like the pages of the book that she was reading earlier.
Wonderful callback. I enjoyed that. All right. We have 3 dice now. Let's just tell me about it.
That's a 2, a 3, and a 4.
At least one was a 4. That means like it's in the bracket of success. The character succeeds, but dread goes up by 2. And with that, I have 8 dread. I'm gonna spend it all immediately and give you both increased despair by 1. You're fine. Your hope is 2. We're not, you're fine. You're okay. Oh, you already got it. My bad. But how are you stabbing? Where are you stabbing? How's it going? Her back is to you, I'm assuming, like as she's like walking toward.
She's walking towards, and she kind of walks past, and she's been insisting that she's real. So if she's real, then I'll stab her in the back like she stabbed me. And I'm just going to twist and stab as she walks past. So like back torso like area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you expecting this to connect?
aiming.
Are you expecting it to connect? Like, are you like, if she says she's real, then she is?
Yeah, kind of like that. If you're real, fine.
So you turn, you're not really looking, and you're aiming for the back neck, upper shoulder area.
Yeah, like she's if she's walking past me, we're not that different height. We're not that different of heights. And so she's walking past, and it's not like I'm blindly like stabbing. I'm like, I can see her, but yeah.
Okay. So like you're aiming for like the upper part of her back, I would say. And you connect. It's a solid matter. Like it's not like, oh, a ghost question mark. You feel blade slided to flesh. Hear that cutting noise of that. And there's like a halt to that as Sarah also releases this scream and I think tries to stop Alice from moving forward kind of situation. Is that what's happening? Or
Yeah, kind of in a way piercing Alice with sound versus the knife that Kendra's doing.
Okay. The knife is so sharp you can see that it pokes out from the front of her collarbone and chest. There is like a kind of like a shattering of bone kind of situation, as well as to go through. That's how much anger is pushed through with this stab. and there's like a halt of like kind of situation. The contact was made, and also the scream, and then there's like a moment as the scream continues on. Kendra, you got 4. Severe consequence, or raise your despair by 1.
We love those consequences.
Give me those consequences. So there's a moment where like surprise on Alice's face, and they're looking down at Sarah. Sarah's in front of them, and there's a moment of like, oh, did it work? Like, did that do a thing? Did I do something? And then a moment of like adjusting kind of situation, and a smile, like a very serene smile down at you, Sarah. And then she says, like, seems like you found your voice finally. And then in the moment, you don't see this, Kendra. Like, you don't know how this happened. Same spot where you stabbed Alice. You feel a very harsh slice to the back of your neck. And it's not like, you're not sure, but there's a difference of like slicing. It's not a knife. It feels more aggressive. It feels like multiple slices in one spot, and you are bleeding. Then you feel Alice like jolt out of your grip with the knife kind of situation, kind of push yourself off and like shake, and then you can see that it's slowly like healing in front of you, Sarah. You're like, oh, okay, ooh, that hurt. Need to do better than that, though. Definitely need to do better than that. Like, walks to the right, walks around you, Sarah, like you're like in a hallway kind of situation, like excuse me, walks around and past you to the door, wipes. It's like, I'm gonna make myself a drink. Y'all try to leave, I guess, or you could stab me again. Backstabber. Oh, there's a song about that, I think. And then she like walks in. And you're both left outside, and there's
I think Sarah will
burning
immediately
pain in Kendra's back right now.
immediately look to see the wound, and if is it bleeding like profusely, or
It's bleeding a decent amount. You could like take care of this if you like put pressure on it.
Yeah.
But if you look from what you can tell, it's kind of messy. It kind of ripped into Kendra's top, whatever they're wearing, essentially.
Sure.
And you could see the slices into the shirt, and it's 3
back's,
claw
like,
marks
open.
like
It's
that have
still
opened up the back of your neck, essentially.
Jesus. What?
I think Sarah will just kind of wordlessly kind of look at Kendra and just is trying to stop the bleeding in any way she can, or stop the flow as much as possible.
We didn't do anything wrong. It was an accident. We don't deserve this.
I think we're past the point of deserving, whether we do or not. I don't think this thing, and she'll kind of look over to the entrance to the house, cares. What do you want to do? Stabbing it seems to just hurt us. Well, you in this case.
Fine. She wants to talk. Let's go talk. I don't have clothes anyway, so I guess we'll have to go get a towel.
Yeah.
And Kendra's gonna start walking back in the house.
I think Sarah at that will actually take off her because she hadn't been able to fully relax just yet. She'll take off her surf shirt, which is a bit thicker. It's almost like a wetsuit kind of consistency. And at that point, that's what she's been using to kind of staunch the blood and hold pressure. So there is a bit of a towel in that. It will create a seal of sorts. Won't stop it completely, but it'll make sure that the wound doesn't get infected. And that will help to add some pressure because it is kind of a weighted fabric. So,
So helping a little bit to make sure that they're okay in the back kind of situation. But you both agreed to go back into the house, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sarah will pause and then go back in.
And so you walk back in, and you see like drips of blood from Kendra from the slice on the hand, the slice in the back of the neck at this point. But it seems like you can do something to help in regards. And you already did. You walk in, assuming they close the door behind you, and you're looking around for Alice. No? Okay, you're leaving it open?
Yeah, the door stays open.
The door stays
stays
open. All right, cool.
open.
Yeah,
Wasn't sure.
Sarah's gonna even put like I'm imagining like either a shoe or something in between the door and the door frame so it can't just slam shut. It's gonna
There's
ricochet
probably
off
like
of
something you can put in there, like whether
umbrella
it's a book.
stand.
Yeah, something. Yeah, like let's do an umbrella stand to like make sure it doesn't close. And you make a show of this, like kind of situation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're not doing this. You make sure that it's closed. You can hear.
Sarah's gonna be loud about it. She's literally gonna knock over the umbrella stand and just kind of kick it over to the door. Is just being just over this. Just wants to leave. Doesn't want to deal with this shit. Doesn't want to talk. So she is literally being that annoying person of just trying to be as loud and inconvenient as possible.
Mm-hmm. You're doing that. You're being very obvious about this.
Oh yeah.
Whether you looked up or not to check first, you probably Kendra, you're noticing this. Like Alice is in the kitchen. You would expect that like maybe she like disappeared or is gonna do like a reappearing act like it's been kind of going on. But no, she's here. She's looking at Sarah do all of this. Like it's just with the softest smile on her face. And also while that's happening, raising her eyebrow, rolling her eyes, bringing out shot glasses, and pouring tequila, getting like salt ready and getting lime ready, and waiting for y'all to come on to the island. Let's have a seat kind of situation where let's stand around.
I'm gonna grab the towel that's that's like on the way and grab it, and I'm gonna have a seat and put the towel on my back. So what?
What? You want to talk, or you want to stab? Because either two can happen again if you would like.
Clearly, what do you want?
Ooh, so many things I want. Like, puts the shot glass down, like, does this with their hands. Something that Alice does do, but usually does it with, like, a treat. Like a sweet treat of some sort, or especially, like, ice cream, or going to, like, a cake store or something like that in New York. So, like, wants something that they think is tantalizing is the best way to put it. What do I want? Would it be very forward to say I want your souls?
So not Alice.
I mean, she's in here.
How you let her go?
Sorry, say that again one more time. I didn't quite hear that.
What would make you let her go?
Oh, baby. Nothing. Like, she's here with me now. I'm just gonna keep on racking it up kind of situation. I don't know what you could do about it, but got a lot of secrets, a lot of things hiding in the closets kind of situation. I don't think that you have anything even tantalizing enough to offer in comparison to how much she's had going on.
Why, Alice?
Why not, Alice?
I am sure there is.
Several others, yes. Like, this
Yeah,
doesn't
that you could have
stop.
entertained yourself with.
Yes, exactly. You get it. You understand. Cheers to that. You should take a shot. Loosen up a little bit. Takes a
I think
shot.
you see like literally just see a vein pop up on Sarah's forehead for a second.
So you're not Alice, and you're keeping her hostage.
I'm kind of playing off of the things that she kind of had left over. She was very pissed off with y'all. Tried not to be, didn't want to be, but couldn't let it go. I mean, a friendship as long as yours has some stuff that sticks around, doesn't it?
We all get pissed.
Of course.
Who cares?
I do.
The fuck is this?
I love messing with humans so much. It's something that I do as a pastime. And I gotta eat too. I had to eat. So I kind of like playing with my food. Does it not ring a bell? Like, demon? That's what I do, baby. And then snaps their finger. And you hear different song than you normally would. It's not like you were expecting like 90s pop or 90s or like early 2000s, something like that, like something that matches the energy. But this isn't the same. It's very old-timey. It's very slow. You get the vibe of a vinyl record kind of thing playing in the background. And you hear It's a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong playing instead. You think you're the first or last, little humans? No. I mean, you could still try to get Alice out of here, but stabbing me is not gonna do it. Pours another shot. How about this? You think on it. Give it like 24 hours. 24 hours to think about how you can free poor Alice. Or I come for you.
Why bother?
I love to see the despair and dread pile on as you realize that there's no way out for you besides trying to fight me with your human weapons and failing each and every time. I love to see the fear bleed into you, just like I bled into Alice. You thought that I just took her? No. That was years in the making, babies.
So you're trying to marinate us, essentially.
Flash marination, if you will. Speed up the process so I can kind of move on, you know? I already got the major fruit of this, but it is kind of cool if I can get all three.
Is it still fun if you don't get to kill us?
Well, I didn't kill Alice. You did.
We did not kill Alice.
Don't. Yes, you did. It was an accident, but you still did.
Accidents.
Perfect storm.
No one is accountable. Or it's no one's fault. No one is liable. Because it was an accident. That's what that means.
That's not what she feels.
Well, we will never know because you fucked it up. So,
Like I said, 24 hours. If you want to try to find and save your friend, you can totally do that. Or I come for you. Either way. Ta! And they do a peace sign. There's like rattling of the shot glasses as they kind of like bleed away from your vision. Like it's not like they vanish like a pop. It's just kind of like they just like, you know, like a chameleon blending into the background kind of situation is what happens. And you're left alone, and it is late. I would say that it's like 12, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. You're just left with the knowledge that's been kind of dropped for you.
well,
You're the lawyer. And the loopholes here.
I don't have a contract. It's not, I can't just.
No, but verbally, with what you just picked up.
24 hours we have to figure out how to free Alice or to try to leave. Resistance is futile. And so it seems like if we find a way to break out Alice, that completes the contract in our favor. If we escape, that would technically complete the contract in our favor. If it were a contract, we didn't kill her.
That wasn't our intent. But it was the impact.
She fell. It was an accident.
Aren't there rules about, or laws and cases about involuntary manslaughter?
Yeah, and ours doesn't fit that.
In the eyes of the justice system or the legal system? Which one are we talking here?
They're the same thing.
Supposedly.
We're not in prison because we didn't do anything wrong. It was a mistake. She was our friend. I at least immediately checked on her. You're the one who froze. Who knows? She might not have died if you had been there.
Wow, it comes back to this, doesn't it? Really?
You always freeze.
I'm not sorry for pausing for a moment because I didn't know if what was happening was a joke or if it was real. I won't apologize for that.
No one's asking for your apology. That's not going to do anything. That's the point. What's done is done.
You are essentially asking for that apology because you are reeking me over the coals right now.
I didn't ask for anything. Those words did not come out of my mouth. Don't put them there.
You're insinuating it, though. Just because my brain
Show me
doesn't...
proof.
I can't rewind. Oh, if I could rewind time, I would change so many things, but unfortunately I can't. You and Alice were always the ones to just go ahead. I was the friend that normally most people didn't have to worry about. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to ask you to try and understand, but that's what friendship is. We trust. I may not necessarily believe or think that everything you and Alice did was amazing, but you know what? You're my friend and I trust and I was loyal to you both. Sure, I might question every now and then. That's accountability. But I would never judge you for those things. No, I understand you're afraid and I understand you're frustrated because believe me, so am I. But the last thing we need right now is to be fighting against each other. That's what whatever that fucking thing wants us to do. Divide and conquer. Picking away at our mental capacities right now and pitting us against each other. So it becomes an us or them situation. And at the end of the day, if we hate each other that much, even for a moment, that could cost one of us our lives, our souls, whatever this is.
I don't even know if souls exist.
We obviously do.
It's not obvious. I haven't.
Then what is that thing doing and why does it know everything about Alice? Why does it know about us? It's
People
reading
can do
her soul
research.
like a fucking book.
People can do research. I don't have. There's no case law. There's no books.
Close your eyes for a moment, Kendra, and just fucking go with your gut on this versus actual facts on this. What is your gut telling you?
My gut says we're fucked.
We've watched enough horror movies. We have read enough novels. Some things can't be explained.
Okay, fine. What? Do you have a priest?
No. It's not like I can pull a priest out of my freaking pocket right now.
Yeah. Well, what do you want? I'm queer to the $2 bill. If this shit's real, God already hates me. So who cares?
I don't necessarily believe in God anyways, so we're both fucked.
Well, if there's a demon, then what's the other point?
So you're arguing. And it is, I'm going to say it goes on for a little bit, right? Like, can't believe this. This can't be real. How do we save Alice? Blaming each other for that moment in different ways. Time keeps going on and it's getting to 2:33. And perhaps tiredness is coming in. Or no, like it's not, because this is terrifying. You know, you just saw that happened. You both saw it. So you might either be fighting sleep, are tired, or just not tired at all. Whatever fits. I have a question for both of you. Do you want to try to save Alice, or do you want to leave?
Kendra wants to try to save Alice because Kendra doesn't believe that we can leave.
I'm in agreement with that. Because even if we were to leave, this thing followed us to this island.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reasoning of, oh, it can only stay within the boundaries of this place. It's not like it's wrapped in holy water. It's the ocean. So, yeah.
So,
trying to save Alice and get rid of this thing if we can.
All right, so if you want to roll, like, things to, like, either you can tell me how you're going to look into it, or if you're like, hey, I'll give you a tiny hint kind of situation if you pass, you can both roll, essentially.
Are our phones working again?
Yeah.
Like electronics, we have Wi-Fi stuff?
You have everything. To be honest, it's going to be dependent on if you fail or not, if they don't work.
That's fair.
I would like to phone a friend.
Who would you like to phone?
I'm being legit.
I know
But
you are.
I
That
understand
sounds
the
like
joke.
who are you calling?
It is. But I also want to phone a friend if I can interject real quick, Lamia. Because bookstore, coffee shop, and with where this is at, it's in a smaller town. It's not in the city. It is not uncommon for folks to come on in wanting to know about like sightseeing and spots, but also wanting to know, especially around certain times of the year, about any of the local haunts and stuff. So I would like to say that I would like to phone a friend named Marco, who is working with, like, has experience with either ghost hunting or is a writer, and has been writing about those experiences. And so Sarah will contact Marco to see what, basically describing what's happening, and is gonna basically ask for anything they might know about what kind of demon this might be, and what are some ways that we can handle this. So, um, uh, and to potentially get help to the island too.
Okay. Did you
So it's
want
a threefold.
to? Because side characters can be bought in with the scar.
Yeah,
So you want to like describe how like
sure.
something bad happened that brought Marco into your life.
Sure.
Okay.
So the former owner of the bookstore coffee shop, it actually used to be a uh, out of use funeral parlor.
Hmm.
And so with that, just wanting the energies, like it was a cute shop, cute little place. It hadn't been used in like 20 years, so it was in a state of disarray. There were a lot of vegetation all over the place. And I want to say kind of that feeling of if you've ever watched around New Orleans, of just like almost feeling like you're being watched, not necessarily by like a malevolent spirit, but just spirit is present in some way, shape, or form. So I think Sarah reached out to Marco, who was in the vicinity, had maybe just moved to town, to do some writing or taking a break before going on another like ghost hunting tour, and had reached out to kind of investigate. And it was a mutual interest thing because they had also heard about this place and wanted to take a look around. This especially happened after Sarah was walking the place with some of the construction crew because she wanted to try to keep the buildings as native to what it was. She wants to preserve it, but still give it a little bit of character, of her flair. And it was around that time that strange things started happening. Hammers started going missing. Some of the like plywood would get thrown, doors were getting slammed, things like that. So she pulled in Marco to kind of help out with this, to take a look into it. So it was after I think this incident was when she got locked into the basement because one of the plywoods or floorboards leaning up against the wall was pushed by something and it came across the doorknob, so she could not get out.
Hmm.
And after that, she was like, "Nope, I need to call in an expert because yeah."
Okay. Nicely described. So Marco is now added to psychic. You add that to your. You can add that to your dice roll. Don't do it yet, but increase your anxiety by 2.
Okay.
Kendra, what are you doing? Like, what would you like to do, or your approach to looking into this?
I I'm gonna turn to Sarah and say, "Don't get mad." And I'm gonna walk off and go to my room and I'm gonna bring back my laptop. And I would like to do some research.
So you brought your work with you? Is that what?
Yeah.
Sarah just laughs. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's the release of just like, I can't
Mm-hmm.
be mad at you right now. This is just too funny. So she'll just laugh.
Yeah. So you're just gonna do some research. Give me like a range of what you're looking into.
I want to I want to look I want to find the most credible possibilities of how to trap a demon, how to banish a demon, how to free someone who's been captured, how to get out of a deal. Like that whole area of like how do you deal with this thing, right? And I want to try and like find the most likely like remedies to this situation. So
Okay.
and since it is my work laptop, like I will use all powers open to me to do that.
Awesome. All right, so you're gonna laptop got out. You're like, okay, I'm looking for any way I can either trap a demon, release a soul, something like that's credible. The danger is gone from what you can tell in terms of like the demon being in the house, from what you could see anyway. So I don't think this is desperate anymore. I think this is tense because you have a moment of reprieve, perhaps. You've tended to your wounds in the time. Like you might have like done some arguing, but like rinsed your hand under the sink, found like a first aid kit or something like that. But you're still arguing, just not as loud. So this is gonna be a tense roll. Kendra, unless there's like something else you want to add, it seems like it's only 1 dice.
I mean, I'm a lawyer. I feel like I have research skills. I think that sleepless nights and long hours in the library are a staple. Long hours in the office. And I think the particular situation that comes to mind is finals right before the bar, and being at the library and seeing, at first everyone was there, and then little by little people leave and they leave, but the library of course is 24 hours and Kendra is just there, locked in. The first day, the second day, and I think it's halfway through the third day when the hallucinations started, when they hadn't slept and they were trying so hard to do well. They needed the grade, they needed to know things. Knowing things was how their life was going to be fixed. It was how they were going to make happiness for themselves. And so they had to know, so they couldn't go to bed. It didn't make sense to go to bed. And I think that third day, they hadn't done so great at feeding themselves either, because they lost track of time and they lost track of themselves. And I think that they collapsed. And that collapse, waking up in the hospital, in the ER, because somebody, one of the few left, maybe one of the librarians, they don't know to this day, of course, called an ambulance. A student collapsed in the library. And all they could think was, did I miss my final?
Wonderfully done. You have a scar to add, and call it what you feel, because you've been wonderfully creative with the titles so far. So whatever you would like. So you both have scars. Technically, one is a side character, and one is like your expertise as a researcher, because you've had worse. You've learned from worse, but now you've learned to be good at this quicker, faster. So you each get one extra die, but increase your anxiety by 2. I feel like you did this already, Sarah. If I'm okay, like you did. But since Kendra, you just described this, increase your anxiety by 2.
I think I have to increase it one more because I think you said increase it by 1, so I'll increase it by 1 more.
No, that's my bad then. If I said just 1.
No, you're good. There's a lot. It's like there's a lot happening.
There's a lot happening. It's intense as fuck.
Oh wow.
So tasty, so close to 10. Can't wait. All right, roll your dice.
Okay.
6.
Awesome.
Salem requests a reroll. So, 1, 1, 1.
1 and 1? Double ones?
Yeah, the 1s. I got 1s.
All right. So here's
Snake
what you
eyes.
here's what you could do.
Mm-hmm.
You can push it.
Yeah, I
three
think I'm
dice
gonna
to
push
roll.
it real good, please.
All right, let's push it one good time.
Sure.
Roll a dice, increase your anxiety by half of whatever the result is.
Oof.
Yep.
Okay. That's a 4.
So that's 2. You increase your anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
4, luckily. So.
Nope. But that does put my anxiety at a 9.
So very close to 10.
Yeah.
All right. So, re-roll with 3 this time. Oh no. No? 1?
I rolled 2 1s again.
What about the third one? Like you get 3.
What's the third one?
Wait, this is 1 more. Okay, that's a 3. Which is
For
not
desperate,
great.
that's not great.
No.
I
know.
It's higher.
It's better than a 1.
But it's still in the range of
Not-
just a failure, so.
No, it's not. It's not better than a 1.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so we got a 6 from Kendra, and we got a 3 at max. Unfortunately for you, Sarah. Which is the character does not succeed. Suffers a severe consequence. Increase your despair by 1, and my dread goes up 2.
Wonderful. Cool.
So everything.
You said despair goes up by 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you suffer severe consequence.
I'm living it. Do I need more?
We're gonna do Kendra first. So success, and then we're gonna do it. Okay. So you're like, how would you say, like, you're kind of sitting around and, like, doing your research, like, frantically, but not as much if it was desperate, except for you, Sarah, unfortunately.
I actually think, like, the situation is tense, but once that laptop opens and once Kendra is logged in and starts researching, that's really familiar and calming. And it's part of why Kendra works so much, because there's a calm. It's the thing that they can control. And so I think there's a calmness to Kendra that hasn't been there since they went to go check their phone.
Gotcha. All right, so it's like they log in and it just kind of, like, in the zone. Like, it's kind of like white noise effect where, like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm used to this. I understand this. And your fingertips, like, breeze past, like, just like, just in the zone. You're looking up. Either you're going in incognito mode so that this doesn't appear upon your searches, or you're just like, you don't care. Either way, doesn't matter. You're doing the searches and you're looking into, like, demons and how they work, and you're hoping you don't come across anything that's just like thought pieces kind of situation, or just like fake stuff, like, because how many, like, TV shows, movies, books, people have written about what they think demons are. And you do come across a few helpful things. In terms of, like, haunted spaces or even haunted people, either a deal can be made accidentally or on purpose, either way. Or they're invited in unknowingly to a space or a person. And what ends up happening is that demon kind of dwindles down at who they are. Kind of, it starts off small. It gets worse and worse. Usually, when it's like a possession kind of thing, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're taken over entirely. It could just mean that they're just sitting on your shoulder, there, in the daily things you do, in the back of your brain, in reflections, mirrors, and then you remember when you went to Alice's apartment to set up the prank that you've always done. All the mirrors are covered. You don't remember that being that way a few months ago, before that. So whatever happened, it might have been happening for a while, but it might have like took a nosedive in those last few months. Perhaps it had its claws in Alice and it just was terrorizing her. Until something happened. Something happened. It's meant to be an accident. It's meant to be until the worst possible outcome can happen. Anything. Something that's technically mundane, like a trip down the stairs. Or like walking across the street and not seeing that the signs are wrong. Anything. No one looks twice at those sorts of things. They're accidents. But they always act different before. And once a demon has its claws into you, it takes you. It's yours now. When a demon takes over a space, usually, for instance, let's say not a human, it kind of collects things. It collects people. There's a way to release it. You can get rid of it. You can banish it. You can barter with it. Where you can empower the soul you're trying to break free. Either contacting them, strengthening them in some way. To break through this kind of contract, because it seems very loosey-goosey in a way. If that's what's happening, because you're not sure. But that's the closest you can get to the truth with metaphysical, theoretical, supernatural bullshit.
Okay.
That's what you have. Now, Sarah, you got a 3. The highest was a 3.
Yeah.
You're contacting Marco.
Yeah.
You pick up the phone,
Mhm.
dial Marco, and you're like pacing because you're desperate technically, so you're on edge. And let's say you call Marco a few times and it just doesn't connect, but your phone does have a problem. Like it's like the cell service is kind of shitty. It's not. You don't think it's supernatural. It's just bad. Like you see that the bars are lower.
Yeah.
But it eventually you're able to pace and stop in a spot where it's more than 2. It's now 4 out of 5. You're like, perfect.
Holding it up in the air.
Holding it up.
Getting on furniture, trying to just like any way possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get on furniture. Let's say you get on what's it called again? It's not a sofa, like a love seat or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like hand on the back and you're just like raised up and you have it on speakerphone because you're not gonna be able to do this. It rings 3 times. Rings 3 times and then it picks up. Hello?
Marco?
Polo?
No. Funny.
I'm just kidding. I have to do that every single time. Come on now. How are you, Sarah? I thought you were on vacation.
Yeah, vacation has taken a very strange turn. Can you pull up some information about demons?
What?
You heard me, demons. We're like vengeful spirits.
I know what demons are.
No, like I'm talking, I don't know if there's one in the same. So, like, vengeful spirits or demons?
Oh, no, no,
Both?
no, no, no. Demons aren't vengeful. And then, like, you just hear, like, he tumbled out of his chair, like he's like, wait, demons? Hold up, you
Yeah.
know, kind of situation. It's
Yeah.
like, you're not bullshitting me right now. I know you like to play jokes sometimes.
Yes, but I'm using my serious voice right now, so I would
I'm
say
not good at
no.
picking up tone. Like, come on now.
I know, it's also late, but also it's early for
Yes.
me. But, yeah, no, I'm being 1,000% serious with you right now.
You got a
'Cause
demon.
listen, very possibly, yeah.
How do you know?
Um, well, Kendra and I are seeing the visage of our former friend who has passed away. And they keep talking about revenge and claiming our souls and things like that, and they're in control of our friend's soul. So there's a lot of really kind of just fucked up shit happening here.
It's like you could just hear a whole bunch of textbooks and papers fall somewhere.
Yeah,
Like they
that's
were
what I
carried.
thought.
You talked to it?
We didn't really have much of a choice on the matter. I'm
saw
gonna
it?
be real. Yes.
Was talking with
And
you. Like just like crumpets and tea, just having a good old time.
I mean, I'm not having a great time, and I don't think Kendra is too.
That's
Kendra
not
tried to
the, I'm being
stab it, and it
sarcastic. That's not the point. I'm
hit
just
them.
so you okay. Alright, if you're bullshitting me or fucking with me.
I'm not.
Okay. Give me a moment. And then like you just hear a whole bunch of like pages turning, books being slammed down. And
I think literally Sarah will mute herself, and you just Kendra will hear this. Will you fucking hurry up? I swear to fucking God, can you just please hurry up? Please, for the love of all that is holy, or unholy, can you just hurry the fuck up? Is like just has muted themselves because they can't. They're in that spiral where their brain is just moving constantly, and if they sit there doing nothing, then they're gonna just lose it, kind of thing.
So you have it on mute. You got a 3, so that just doesn't mean it means you succeed. Do not succeed, period. So like you do not get the information you need. So you're like, God, fucking come on, fuck, hurry up, fuck. It is muted.
Hurry the fuck up.
And as you hear him just like calling, just a moment, I have it, just hold on. And as you hear that, you hear a voice on the opposite end of, because you have your phone here, and then you hear another sudden voice here, and then it's just in the smallest but like pointed, like a pin drop in your ear. Alice is boo, because she's definitely done that before you. And you're on edge. This is desperate. So you have a severe consequence. You're standing on your a love seat, and you're kind of not balanced well. So you jolt and fall.
I was gonna, if I could amend, I think actually that would, this Jordan would not do this. Sarah will. Honestly, as she's about to fall, she's gonna yelp and just chuck her phone at the wall.
Oh, sick. So then you, because it's kind of like trying to gain like footing, like a foothold of something, and like, you have to yeet the phone in order to use your hand, and it hits the corner and you hear a crack sound, and you fall and you hit the corner, luckily, of the couch, so it's like a rounded edge, but it still hits the side of your face really hard. Pain radiates as it hits, and you fall to the floor. And you definitely have bruising, or you're gonna be bruised from that. Your world is spinning a little bit.
Wonderful.
And this, for the sake of like full severe consequence, I either gonna say that you can tell me if this is a no. You're either fully knocked out, or you're gonna be seeing things for a little bit.
Seeing things. Let's go with that. I think that'll add with what she's been seeing this whole trip, which is stuff out of her vision.
So you have a moment where your vision blacks out, but it's temporary, and you're just like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Kendra definitely saw all of that. because
Mhm.
it was a spectacle, right? Like it was just, you have it on speaker.
He was a salmon moving upriver.
Yeah,
is
very
what
much.
it was.
Kendra finally gets to the bottom of what they found, and then they like, I got it. They look up and they see you yelp and fall, and they get up and run over to you. And it's like, and then your vision's kind of swimming a little bit.
Sarah,
Yeah.
hey, are you okay?
I feel like okay is such an ambiguous term right now.
Is anything broken besides your phone?
I feel like part of my face is broken. I'm gonna be real with you.
Right. Okay.
This thing is not playing fair. Is what she'll say to Kendra.
Oh, also
It's a
before
demon.
there's one other thing I forgot to do. This is on me.
Yeah.
Because Kendra, you passed. Increase your hope to 3.
Yeah.
Technically, because you found out some decent information that might help you in this situation.
Yeah, this thing is not playing fair. As
Yeah.
demons do. So.
Well, I found out some information. So you can never mop me for taking my laptop places ever again.
Consider it unbopped.
We can try to get rid of it, which nebulous, or we can try to empower Alice's spirit, apparently, to fight it. Nebulous, also. Or we can try to make a new deal to take over the old deal. Very straightforward, incredibly dangerous, however. So we have 2 nebulous, untried options with no concrete case law, or we have a very direct route which has a lot of loopholes in it.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that third option because we don't know everything about the original first deal.
I mean, I don't think that matters.
Loopholes.
Loopholes, but if we're trying to install a new contract, it doesn't matter as much what was in the old one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're not trying to write over a CD. We want like a whole new CD.
Right. What are you leaning towards?
Kendra, I take a moment. There's a competition in my mind. I know deals. I know contracts. Regardless of what's happening, that's the comfort zone. But contracts require collateral. How do you collateral a demon? Alice was our friend. Maybe strengthening a friend. Less comfortable, but maybe. And I quickly kind of do the math in my head and make a choice, and I say, we knew Alice. We could get a bunch of, like, Alice helped pay for this place. Alice liked this kind of thing. We can try strengthening, and if nothing else works, then I guess I put my lawyer hat on and we try a deal.
Yeah. Alice was a force of nature, so if anyone could beat back a demon, could certainly be Alice, but...
Hey, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
You did something that might help you. So,
Dead?
you said something that was very, very kind about Alice. If you would like to roll and you pass, you increase your hope by 1.
Sure. Sure.
Sure. But
Okay,
it's
hang on.
desperate, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. That's a 6.
Perfection.
That's
Nah.
a 6.
So you say Alice was a force to be reckoned with. So if we could empower her, let's do that, because she would go down fighting kind of situation. Like, that's kind of the verb, like the way
Yeah,
you
she
said
knows
it.
herself enough that if anyone could beat back a demon, it would be her, kind of thing.
There's like a swell in your chest. Like a memory floods in of seeing your friends on the, was it like, sitting on picnic tables after school, and you see Alice has like feathers in her hair, kind of like, you know, like one of those little like tassels you could put in your hair. Hair's braided in a cute style, and braces. And hands on their sides, chest puffed up on the like the picnic table, like valiantly proclaiming what they can and will do and how they're gonna do it. And you believed her, and she didn't do all of the things that she said she was gonna do, but she did most of it, and most people don't even try. And you're like, man, you almost got the last 2 out of like the 5 things you wanted to do this summer. Now that's impressive. And you just, if you had any doubts, you just knew Alice, if she could, she would. If she can, she will. And that visual swims over your eyes kind of situation, along with seeing Kendra in front of you, as well as like seeing like mirror images and like after effects in your vision of someone walking around and slimily fading into the background and coming forward, and visuals of Alice, but not quite Alice too. You see flashes of red and purple skin, a tail, before it becomes Alice again. Increase hope by 1. If you didn't already, I don't remember. Y'all are really close.
Just it.
Alright. You felt something. You felt that. That was a physical. You feel like the room shift a little bit. Like a whole bunch of stuff kind of moves post kilter to the right a little bit. So like glasses, like open alcohol bottles, takeout, or something like that. Kind of shifts a degree. All at the same time. Creepy. They don't get thrown or moved. It just feels like a warning, maybe.
Yeah.
What do you do after that?
You could try that route, but lies often have grains of truth in them, no matter how big or small. So, not that I necessarily believe a demon, but if Alice hated us as much or as little, that's ways to sow seeds of doubt.
So then we take away the reason to hate us. Let's there was was a ridiculous towel rabbit. Alice would have fucking loved it. Do you remember where?
Wasn't it in the room she was supposed to sleep in?
Okay, let's get that. And some candles. And tequila.
Tequila and Spice Girls?
Tequila and Spice Girls.
Right.
Yeah.
So, one of you goes up, gets the rabbit.
Sarah will literally do the booking it up the stairs like something's behind her kind of thing to go get the towel. You know exactly what run I'm talking about.
I know exactly
That's
what
the
run you're
thing.
talking about, yes.
Is gonna literally just do that and book it to that room. Get in the doorway, see quickly that, hey, Alice isn't in here. Grab the rabbit towel thing and then book it back downstairs almost in the same manner.
Okay. You have, just for the flavor, because your vision is swimming, you try to go in a straight line up the stairs, and you are like doing this weird like fading.
She's leaning. She's doing the drunk.
But you're still doing it with full force, and you do have confidence in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you do go up and you grab this cute towel tied into the form of a bunny, and you do smile to yourself a little bit because Alice was supposed to be in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And she would have loved it. And maybe, even though like it was kind of unsettling to see when you first got here, it could have just been a note left behind by like the person that owns the place of like, hey, like rabbits, or like, hey, Alice, you know, like Alice in Wonderland, like a rabbit. Like it could have just been something like that. It's still kind of creepy though. You grab it, you run down. Kendra, you get very similar to like what the demon did, which is grab 3 different shot glasses. You got tequila. You find candles that smell like vanilla bean, something woodsy, sandalwoody, something that just kind of brings warmth in a little bit. You don't know how to do a seance or anything like that. This just feels like a moment of, hey, I'm sitting down with my friend, and
Yeah, I put them on the dining room table. I think I put there's a tequila shot at 3 of the seats, and then the candles are in the middle. When Sarah comes back, I put the bunny in Alice's seat. And I sit at one seat.
okay.
And I ask Sarah can you sit there?
And Sarah
So
will
it's
sit.
basically a triangle. And I'm directly across from where the Alice bunny is. And I look at it and I turn on background music of Spice Girls, Wannabe, and I down my shot and I say, we took it too far and I'm sorry we killed you. It was my idea. I thought it would be funny. I thought it would be epic. It was negligent, and I pulled every string I could to keep us out of trouble, and I am so sorry. You and Sarah, and I look at Sarah and then back at the bunny, trying not to feel silly for talking to fucking towel rabbit. You and Sarah have been my best friends, no matter what we did to each other, no matter how bad it got. I felt so empty without you, Alice. We are two bad bitches, and there's no way in hell I can just let you go down being ridden by some classless bitch. You are better than any fucking demon trying to impersonate you could be. You are fabulous and fierce and the best damn marketing exec in the country. You deserve to be at rest, and I am so sorry.
You say that, you feel your heart swell. That same feeling that Sarah didn't explain, but you feel it. And you see Alice in your vision. It kind of like floods through, and the vision is bright, sunlight, clear skies for a New York City sidewalk, and you're both walking down it in opposite directions, headed towards lunch to meet up. And this is the first time you've really seen Alice as a marketing exec of sorts, dressed perfectly. You just remember seeing that kid with their chest out, puffed out. You see that moment encapsulated forever in this woman that you see walking down the sidewalk to you. Her straightened power suit, but colorful to wear her on her outfit, essentially. Makeup done perfectly, jewelry amazing, nails perfection. And she looks up at you as y'all meet, and she kind of gives you the same look of like, damn, girl. Damn. Is that my bestie? Kind of situation. Is that my bestie? Kind of doing all that with you.
You know.
We two bad bitches. And like puts an arm through yours. You both walk through, and you immediately start talking about your day and how bullshits happen at work, but it's nothing you can't handle. And Alice does like the little like clapping with two fingers kind of situation of amazing, yes, get it, get it, get it. It's a memory you don't think of often. It's not the first thing that you thought of when you thought of Alice, unfortunately. You thought of all the regrets. You thought of all the guilt. You thought of what happened. You thought of every bad thing that you never resolved with your friend, but you never really thought about the good things either. And how important that was. And how much you miss her. Just in general. Yeah. She was a bitch. But she was that bitch. Just like she thought of you as well. Sarah. Before you do that, actually. When the vision passes and you have that moment of release in your chest, you see the glass that's in front of Alice's rabbit, like the hell rabbit, just kind of like goes down, like it's being drained. It's empty.
Pour another.
Sarah, you see this? Another's poured by Kendra. And I would say that Kendra has like a moment where they like whoa, okay, all right, that's good. There's also like a release on their face.
I think Sarah in that moment, as she's always, whether she realized it or not, kind of played second fiddle. The friendship that Kendra and Alice have is one that she might understand aspects of, but she will never understand the full. It's different. Not that it's bad, not that it's, good, but it's different than the relationship that she has with Kendra and she has with Alice. And I think what comes to mind is, of course, all the times of regret of loving each other even when we hated each other, for both of them. Because it's hard to think of Alice without thinking of Kendra. They were two sides of the same coin. And there were times that Sarah was very jealous, but couldn't actually verbalize it, of the freedom that they both had, of being so comfortable with themselves and being those bitches. That Sarah only really felt that when she was with them. And while that was always a release, it also created a lot of confusion for her, because it's very jarring to go between worlds of acceptance and being put into a box. The memory comes to mind. And at this point, Sarah's starting to say it. I think as she's starting, it's just nonsense. Like, it's not complete sentences. They're fragments of sentences. They start with words and it's slowly building together until she's just talking out her thoughts, which is something that she doesn't normally do. It's very different. So I think the sentences start off with like a word where she just starts saying Alice, Kendra, Alice, Kendra. And then it builds into this narrative that is just inward writings now outpouring onto this table. She'll bring up a memory, and it's one of the first memories she has of feeling really lost and alone on the playground. I think they're probably 6 or 7-ish. And Sarah was relatively new and was getting bullied on the playground because she was quiet. Because she was brought up in a home that quiet girls are good girls. They listen. So I think that was that mantra, whether she disagreed with it or not, which she did, she could never outwardly do. There was a moment where she was getting picked on the playground and Alice spoke up. And this marked the first page of the chapter book of their friendship. But Alice was also the binding of the friendship between Sarah and Kendra. And since then, while she loves Kendra, things have felt weird, things have felt strained. Not only around the circumstances surrounding Alice's death, but just also feeling like the glue that was holding us all together is gone. And Sarah is not glue. But wanting to be there and wanting to continue that friendship with Kendra on such a deep level. And trying to meld herself, again, while also still finding herself along the way. And I think all of that just comes outpouring in that. And she brings up the fact that it's because of Alice that she started to find her voice. And it's because of Kendra that she was able to start finding factual information about herself. Kendra allowed for the evidentiary support that is stuff about herself to come out and face the rebuttals of the world. She is, whether she realizes it or not, the makeup of their two friendships. And right now she is broken. But all she can do right now is try and give Alice her voice, which is what she tried to do. She realizes that this is what she tried to do out front when that stabbing happened. And I think all of that just comes out.
You say this, and you put words together so eloquently when you normally can't, or you're not sure how, or sometimes the words are like jumbled until they aren't. But it takes time sometimes for you. And they finally just did. Patience brought it there. Kindness, sweetness in this moment brought it here. And then you feel that same feeling, but it's more. There's like a visual in your brain of karaoke night. The first time that y'all went out to karaoke, and it is a daunting, kind of nerve-wracking thing. Because there's room karaoke, but of course, Alice likes performing, even if kind of tone deaf, truly, but very much doesn't care. It's all about fun at the end of the day. So like, if they failed, they failed, but they failed gloriously. But was up there singing Moulin Rouge. Was it like yeah, Moulin Rouge. Yeah, it was like what they're singing, and it off key, it's horrible. You're making a face. Kendra is just like, yeah, get it, kind of situation, even if it's horrible. And then points to you, Sarah, and then motions you to come on stage first. And you're like, what? Me? And then you get to the not pink part, you get to the Christina Aguilera part. Because you're nervous, but then you break and you bellow, and oh, those vocals, and like, you see Alice's face is like, what the fuck? I didn't know you could fucking sing. Kind of situation. And then just looks at Kendra, and Kendra's like, and then after like staring like, that's our friend kind of situation, motions for Kendra to come on stage with all three of you, and y'all sing good bad together. And then I would say that Sarah, you'd get ready to get off, but then Alice is like, but we're gonna do some like Sarah Bareilles or some shit. Like, that's what we're gonna do. Like, it's like, hey, person, like, like reaching over, gravity, do it. And gives you the mic, and you're like, you got this. And you're nervous. But just having the backing of Alice and Kendra together, because like they saw that, they validated, they let you know you did, and you sung it beautifully, and you've never felt such courage. And ever since y'all have done karaoke, as like, like not every day or not every week, but like when you could,
Once a month.
yeah, like
Once a month.
I would say once a month. I was gonna say once a month or once a quarter or some kind of interval of some sort.
It's our bowling night.
Yeah. So, and it's just not. It just had to be you doing your own song at some point by yourself, whether it was a room or in front of a crowd. And you remember that, and it just floods in, and you're like, yeah, that's what Alice did for me. Had faith in me, knew that I could, wanted me to have fun. It swells, and then in your swimming vision, still spinning but getting better, you see that being of purple skin and red skin horns, like vertebrae sticking out of a back kind of situation for a moment. Slithery. But it fades as you see the shot go down again. Fade as if like it was taken. And you feel like it's working. Now,
Refill it again.
you refill it again. You both gave really good stories here. I need you both to roll. It's desperate. If one of you succeeds, you'll get to hope 5. And you survive. Just letting you know. But up to you if you want to build it, if you want to help each other. Because technically you did help each other. That's what you did.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say, I think we kind of helped
So
each
you
other.
both increase your anxiety by 1 if you're helping each other.
Oof.
Okay.
Don't worry, you're already doing a desperate roll, so it doesn't really do anything. You're fine. But
Am I?
who knows, really?
Mm.
But roll those dice. You get 2 each because you're helping each other.
Okay.
One of you.
I got a 2 and a 5.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I got a 1 and a 4.
So you both pass. You're both in the range of the mixed success. So I have 6 dread. And I'm gonna use it or else I'll lose it kind of situation. So like
Sure.
Kendra, your despair goes up to 2.
Okay.
And I'll do a minor consequence so that it's 0. But we'll see how that plays out in a second. But 2 dread, that's about it. You can choose to, now I'm just going to add everything in here. You can either choose to suffer a severe consequence or raise your despair by 1. But you succeeded. So hope is now at 5.
Is that for both of us, you said?
That's for both of you.
Okay.
No.
I will do a severe consequence.
Okay.
I will too.
Okay. 2 severe consequences and 1 minor consequence. Because I'm a benevolent GM when it comes to horror, let me just, rack on the consequences in the story. You pour it again. And you're getting ready to think of other memories to keep this going, this energy that you're feeling, this positivity. And then the shot gas flings across the room and smashes against the wall. And you both look and turn your head to it. And then you turn back around, and in the place of the towel, you see Alice sitting there. Legs crossed, like one over the other. Eyebrows raised. But instead of like the smug look you were seeing, the like, oh, little lambs kind of vibe you were getting from this thing that's wearing Alice's face, it looks angry. Very angry. Arms crossed over their chest. What are you doing?
You gave us 24 hours to find a way to free our friend. That was your words. So, that's what we're doing.
I love when you humans fight, but this is the closest to. Then you see them like. It looks like the best way to put it is like they're trying not to retch, I guess, or like trying not to like kind of collapsing in on themselves a little bit. Like let's say they got punched in the stomach a little bit. Oh.
What's that? Don't have a voice now?
Fuck you. And then
I think I speak for all of us, all 3 of us, when I say, no, fuck you.
Glares at you. And
You picked the wrong ones.
No, but I love picking the wrong ones. They're the best. Glares at you. Eyes are no longer that reminiscent green, right? It's pearly red down to the whites of them. Like, I know there's a comparison I can do to this type of red, but it's like a cherry red, like a really bright cherry red. Slitted down the middle, black. And they snarl. And then in the back of your neck, Kendra, that slash happens again. So the same cut marks and deeper, but it goes longer and it goes down your back. And then with you, Sarah, you feel arms around your, like hands around your wrists, and it's the same feeling of claws digging into the top of your wrists. And it's going deep, and then it's going deep, and it just won't stop until suddenly it goes away. And then a scream of anguish, of depths of the deep, guttural growl. And then fully retching, fully like doubled over in their seat, they fling the alcohol bottle, the other shot glasses over, and then like they retch this black viscous tar-like substance out of their mouth, and it keeps going and it keeps going, and it just won't stop, and they're going, and it's horrifying to hear, it's horrifying to see. It's still Alice's body, essentially. And then when it finally stops, it feels like it's too long. Then there's this pool of black tar over the table on the floor. And they exhale. They exhale. And they look up, and it's tears streaming down their face. It's this look of hope, of holy shit, are you for real? This looks like Alice looking back at you both. And it looks like she's torn between saying words and crying. He doesn't even know what to say. And then like reaches out for both of you. Like trying to grab your hands.
Sarah will take her hand.
I'll take her hand.
She grabs both of your hands. And her voice is sore. It comes out like hoarse. Tears in her eyes, it just won't stop. And she says, I love you both. Thank you. She squeezes. And you see her fade to light, streaking across and raising this brilliance. With it, you see from like the back doors that led out to the pool, the windows, that morning is coming. Right over the horizon, as your friend, your actual friend, is free and fades to light. You decide not to stay, obviously. You can't really have a vacation after that, even if you feel better about how things happened and that like Alice officially said goodbye and that she's free. You can't have a vacation like this. And maybe you shouldn't have in the first place. Like, this was supposed to be all three of you. Maybe next time you plan something, it's just the two of you, meant for the two of you. Whatever that may be. But you have a lot to process. when you get back to New York and you go back to your lives, I would say that uh, when you get a phone, Sarah, Marco is like, what the fuck happened to you kind of situation. So when you get back, the first thing that you see them like typing and like nervous, like waiting, and because like there's someone like manning it for you, it's not closed. Um, and Marco comes up and like inappropriately or appropriately hugs you because like thought you died.
She'll hug him back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's like, what happened to you? Look at you kind of situation. And you probably either give him the details or like,
She'll ask, "Do you have your laptop?"
fuck yeah, I do.
And she'll do an eye roll for a second because technology, but kind of smile, thinking of Kendra, and she will just tell
The whole story,
the
everything that happened, the
everything that
details.
happened. She's gonna change names, obviously, because anonymity and not wanting to get Kendra caught up in any mess as well, because Kendra's got dreams as well. But yeah, she will spare no details and work with Marco on that book.
Amazing. Do that. Now I'm gonna ask you, how has this experience changed you?
I think it's changed her in a couple different ways. Um, she still pauses, but perhaps not nearly as long as she used to. Because she literally has, and for lack of a better term, an angel and a devil on her shoulder. The angel and the devil being Kendra and Alice. But they're both saying the same message of like, keep moving. Don't freeze. Don't question yourself. I think she speaks up a lot more. And that's both outwardly and inwardly. She works on this book with Marco. She puts out her own book as well. And, maybe her and Marco bond over that. And maybe there's more to their story as well that is yet to be written. I think she also takes more time to voice her appreciation that she has to her friends, both Kendra as well as Alice, and paying tribute to them both. And whether they are actually there or not, or Kendra's on the phone with Sarah, Sarah will verbalize it every single day, just saying thank you. And finding the little ways to show appreciation. And not letting the legacy of any of their friendships die on that island.
Amazing. Kendra, when you get back from vacation, you want to like meet up with Sarah later, but you do need a moment to yourself, I imagine. I either imagine you decide to not go immediately back to work and taking a moment to yourself to really be by yourself here, or you come back to work, but you take a moment to really enjoy the bliss of just zoning out and doing work. Maybe it's a little bit meditative for you. What do you think?
Kendra has dealt with every hard, terrible, difficult thing in their life using work. Diving into it, whether it's books, whether it was book it and getting more pizza vouchers than they could ever hope to eat because reading and homework were their work. And then work study, and reading and homework were their work. and then interning and bars and bars, studying for the bar, and then damn near living at the office. And this had to be one of the absolute hardest things they've ever experienced. Souls exist, I guess. I've spent my whole life working to numb myself. Kendra gets back and quits their job.
Okay.
Completely.
I was gonna ask how this changed you, but you already answered the question. Unless you want to add more to, like, what do you plan on doing after you quit?
I think for the first time, the urge to have a plan isn't the urge I follow. I have made plenty of money. I have savings, retirement, equity. I'm gonna take a page out of Sarah's book. And I'm gonna pause for at least a year.
Okay.
And I have a new respect for Sarah. Sarah was always, we were friends, but Sarah's kind of a third wheel. The quiet one, the timid one, the pathetic one. On a bad day, on a mean day. There's a reason why being a shark of a lawyer came easy to Kendra, and it's not always a good thing. And I realize that now, and I realize that being able to pause isn't always weakness. And I think Kendra allows themselves to soften and also apologize to Sarah.
Interesting. That's a big growth for both of you, I would say. And that hits hard in general, and I appreciate and approve of both. A few days, maybe max a week. You update each other on what's happening. Like, I'm quitting my job and I'm recounting everything that happened because holy fuck, I have a friend question mark that's helping me with my book, and then like what happened, and maybe look into it and research it for the book. And you meet up for, let's say, like late lunch one day, and it feels light, and you don't feel guilt anymore. It's not there. If it is there, like, it's not as heavy or pressing or suffocating. It just is the reality, but you have owned up to it, to yourselves. Now you can try to start moving on past it. You are laughing with each other. You're reminiscing about Alice. You're talking about plans for the week, for the month, for the year, whatever that is. And it just feels like two friends instead of like two friends missing a third. And as y'all are talking and laughing, someone is watching you from the corner of the room. Dark silhouettes, newspaper, wide brim hat, lifts to look at y'all and over the top of the newspaper, the audience sees deep, bright, light cherry red eyes, slits, raised eyebrow, deep smirk before looking back down at their newspaper and adjusting it before continuing reading. And that's where we're going to end today, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this wonderful chapter, which is chapter 7, Three Musketeers. I have been your keeper, your storyteller, your director this evening, Ambrose. I go by any all pronouns. And we're going to start with you, Lamia. Tell people who you are, where people can find you.
Hi, I'm Lamia. I've been Kendra. And you can find me on socials. It's a scavenger hunt. My handle is not the same anywhere. Good luck. You can find Mental Woke on Twitter, Woke Mental Wellness on Ko-fi, and that's also the podcast. I'm working on a new season, hoping to have that out by the beginning of 2025, perhaps. And then Blue Sky is, I think, Intersections CCH, and Instagram is Intersections LLC. So good luck.
Nice. It is a scavenger hunt. And you, Jordan.
Hello, I am D&D Jordan Lee, she, her, they pronouns. I have been Sarah. I am an award-winning storyteller and storyteller and producer for the award-nominated 𝒂𝒆𝒊𝒆𝒏𝒅, which is an all-neurospicy, mainly ace cast homebrew actual play that airs on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. I also do a lot of content creation and streaming on my own channel and comparing aspects of video games back to TTRPGs, mainly Dungeons and Dragons, but every now and then we like to venture into other stories as well. And I am also the creator and one of the lead organizers for Games for Change, which is a charity initiative we do 2 to 3 times a year to raise money and awareness about various causes. Our next one's going to be coming up soon, so just keep an eye on socials. Unlike Lamia's Chaos, I am D&D Jordan Lee everywhere, and 𝒂𝒆𝒊𝒆𝒏𝒅 D&D everywhere. So you can find me across the universe webs. Also, this is Salem, who has been my background actor this entire time. But thank you so much, Ambrose, and to Lamia. This has been so much fun. Terrifying, but fun.
Oh, good. Then I did my job. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
I am Ambrose. I am the creative director and founder of Other Cider Studios. I'm an award-winning TTRPG performer and storyteller. This is the home of the award-nominated, so far, Arcane Core series, which we're still participating this year in the Audio Fiction World Cup, which we'll see how we do in terms of numbers soon. I'm really excited for that. I am going to be in Bad House RPGs, Midnight Rush, which we just started recording, and immediately, was not expecting it. It's amazing so far, and we've only done one recording, so we'll see the next part and where we go, because my lord, I cannot wait. There will be other projects that we are going to be doing soon, but let's see how the year goes. Let's see what we got planned. But this project so far has blown me away, and everyone is doing a fantastic job. These two have been phenomenal, absolutely. They made me cry.
Yes!
I think this is the first time I cried, I think. I'm trying to think. I was just like, I think I got close one other time. So thank you.
Target unlocked.
Achievement just pops up over your heads. So
In true 90s, early 2000s fashion, who's the demon now?
Let's go. My God. Anyway, y'all have been amazing. Please follow these two amazing people and follow everything that they're doing and what they're up to. And stay tuned for the next chapter, which is chapter 8, When the Light Breaks. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I'm really excited for that one too. And bye, everybody. See you on the other side, and take care.